Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Ricada of Ricada Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And happy Christmas Eve. With me this wonderful, wonderful evening is Mr. Ty Beard. How's it going?
Hello. It's going great, man. I am stepping tall and living large.
You look like Alex Jones got in a fight with a mall Santa.
But who won the fight, I think, is the critical question.
Well, those weren't elves. Those were transdimensional space demons coming in here to take our Christianity away and shove it down the throats of those communist Nazis.
Okay, that's fair. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, man. Yeah. I love the outfit. I don't.
I'm a Slytherin, according to my daughters. I took some tests, and they said I was like 95% or something.
Okay.
Maybe 100%. I can't remember.
I don't understand the implications of being from Slytherin, other than evil.
All I can say is anytime because I don't know anything about Harry Potter either. And so anytime I've said that to someone who does know about Harry Potter, they go, oh, yeah, I can definitely see that.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it's, yeah. But, we missed you tonight. We had a Cthulhu game on Brianna's Twitch, but we ended on a cliffhanger, as is always appropriate for Cthulhu games.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, I would have loved to be there, but we have our own family tradition on Christmas Eve, which we started several years ago, and we get the kids together, and we have a Christmas Eve box, which is full of a bunch of garbage, which I mostly mean like junk food. There's a bunch of candy, a bunch of snacks, and then we have a theme of a movie of some sort, and we all get matching pajamas.
Okay.
And then we sit around and on Christmas Eve we watch the movie. Usually we pick like a popular Pixar or some sort of movie like that's come out during the year. This year, nothing's come out.
Yeah.
So actually we had my in-laws wanted to do the box this year, so they did the box, and they picked the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, the remakes with Jason Lee. And so there was
that was hard time, wasn't it?
Look.
Hey, no judgment. I mean,
it was
as a father myself,
yeah,
we don't talk about Father Club,
Yeah, you have to find the joy in some things. Someone did mention Onward came out. We watched Onward earlier this year, though, so we always try and do something the kids haven't seen. Now, I just picked up Gremlins.
Have you never seen Gremlins?
I have. My kids haven't.
Okay. Oh, I don't think my girls have ever seen. Have y'all ever watched Gremlins?
Maybe when I was very, very little, I vaguely remember.
Okay, it appears I may well have neglected my parently duties on that point.
I'm sure you have.
Yes.
Well, you should know that this year is the 35th anniversary year of Gremlins, and so
I really didn't want to know that. Considering that I was actually technically an adult when Gremlins came out.
I know. I was thinking about it. Don't worry. It crossed my mind as I said it.
Yeah. Oh, no, that was not an accidental shot by you, no.
Ty was in college back then. So, yeah. So
well, you caught the technically an adult part, right? I really don't think I think that all people who are in college should be denied their legal rights as adults until they get out of college. And I would have included myself in that.
So yeah. Anyway, it's out. I picked it up at Target the other day on 4K ultra high definition HDR with Dolby Atmos sound, and I'm like, but for Gremlins?
Yeah,
I can't.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this point, the technology is better than the original film. So,
Yeah.
You're kind of like, did we need that for Gremlins? But yeah.
Yeah, we haven't watched it yet. I can't wait to watch it and see like what that looks like. I would love to see a bunch of little Gremlins, except in super high definition. That'll be great.
Yeah, and I assume they didn't do something crazy like go back and redo the special effects. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold up.
Practical effects tend to hold up really, really well.
Yeah, they do.
Like Starship Troopers still looks great.
Yeah,
Aliens.
Starship Troopers had that perfect moment where they did CGI for the stuff that CGI was really, really good at, but practical effects for everything else.
Yeah,
and it was just that sweet, the huge model starships breaking up, right?
Yeah.
Well, they CGI'd all of the fires and all the explosions and the wreckage coming out of it, and that stuff would have been impossible to composite, because you film compositing, it's like making a photocopy of a photocopy. Eventually, you're going to lose definition, and so Starship Troopers hit that. Titanic sort of did too. The ship in Titanic was a 60-foot long practical model.
Right.
But what they CGI'd were all the people, which you couldn't have done with practical miniatures, and the water. Water is the bane of practical effects.
They should have CGI'd better acting into Kate Winslet.
Yeah, or Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, we don't talk bad about Leo here.
Well,
Leonardo has been picking up 23-year-olds since he was 18.
Listen, yes. Look, and one does have to admire that. I take nothing away from the man on that point, but all I can say about Leonardo DiCaprio is he at least does me the courtesy of dying in every movie he's in. So I can't really carry a grudge.
Even in Man in the Iron Mask, I think didn't one of them get culled?
He didn't die. He got basically shut away in a prison forever. Basically.
Yeah.
But did you ever see The Departed with Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio and Marky Mark?
Yes. Yeah. That's a great flick.
It is. Yeah, it's dated because a big plot point was the use of cell phones for texting secretly, because they were pre-smartphones and they actually had physical buttons, and you could quite easily memorize the keypad and you could text messages. Yeah. You couldn't have done that 3 years later with an iPhone, because you don't have a tactile thing. But what a great movie! More headshots than any movie I've ever seen.
Also, Alec Baldwin has one of my favorite moments in that movie.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. When they're staking out the house, and he sneaks out the back, and they didn't have a camera there, and they're like, "We missed him." He's like, "What do you mean you missed him?" Like, we didn't have a camera on the back door. Didn't have a camera on the back door, and he just goes, wah! Hits the guy right in the face.
That whole scene is excellent, because that's also the part where Marky Mark is going off on one of them. The guy goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "Who am I? I'm the guy that does his fucking job.
Yeah,
you must be that other guy." Yeah. Wahlberg is one of those actors. I think I've liked everything he's ever been in. Even, I have to admit, Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes was okay, only because he looked like a lost child the entire movie, which I respect.
Well, yeah, because he's just sitting there going, "Oh God, this is going to cost me."
Yeah.
The first time he saw those ape costumes, he just went, "Oh, really?"
Oh, have you ever seen Ted?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you gotta see Ted. So Marky Mark's an adult, and Ted was his teddy bear growing up, and yes, I think I have. And he's like a cigarette smoking New Yorker, obnoxious teddy bear. Yeah, it's Seth MacFarlane or whatever, and so he does a bunch of drugs, and gosh, that movie's great.
That's an older movie though. That goes fair ways back, doesn't it?
Maybe 2006 or something like that. Was it that old?
Nick, that was 15 years ago.
No, but I don't know if it was that old.
Oh, okay. I thought it was further back than that, but I could be wrong.
No, 2012. 2012. Just eight
really?
short years ago. Now.
Was there a similar movie earlier by somebody else, maybe?
E.T.
No, really.
There was AI. There was AI with Haley Joel Osment. I think was that Haley Joel Osment, and they had the little teddy bear whose name was Teddy, and he was he's like my favorite character in that wholly depressing movie known as AI.
I don't think I ever actually saw it because I think somebody told me at the time, don't go see it.
Man, it's great. It's a great movie, but good Lord, is it soul sucking and just crushing and crippling sadness.
I really don't. I practice law. I don't need to watch movies.
Yeah.
Do that. I pretty much have all of that I want.
Yeah, it's that. No, man, the end of AI is absolutely brutal. Oh gosh, you should definitely watch it.
Oh, good. Yeah, that sounds like it. Donnie Wahlberg also is in some good stuff. I've liked him in a lot of things he's been in.
Yeah, like In Sync or whatever.
Hey man, don't be dissing on Bye Bye Bye. The girls and I were going to bring that song back about 10 years ago. That's right. Brianna did a video when was it Evan By? Was it Indiana? Whenever was he in Indiana?
Oh, it was New Kids on the Block, not In Sync. Sorry, my boy band knowledge is not up to snuff with the chat.
Mine neither.
By the way, chat, that makes you the gay ones.
Doesn't it though? Sorry, chat. I got to go with Nick on this one. No. When Senator Evan By retired from Congress because he voted for Obamacare and was going to lose by the greatest margin in electoral history, so suddenly he decided he was no longer having fun in the Senate and gave this really pompous, it's just the Senate is not what it used to be. So Brianna did a video for me for my birthday, and it took video clips from that, but it did it to the theme of Bye Bye Bye. It was actually quite funny. I mean, because she was like maybe 12 years old.
Nailed
it.
Went
through a phase. Well, she went through a phase there where she did political videos, and some of them were just really good. She did a tribute video to the U.S. military. That still, if I watch it and I'm not careful, the ending will make me kind of go, contacts or it's really good. Yeah, I'll post a link to that at some point. It's on my YouTube channel, I think, but it's really good. It starts out with the Revolutionary War and goes all the way to the present, but it's the ending that just kind of makes you go, oh. Is
it to Lee Greenwood's "Proud to Be an American"?
No, she found a piece of soundtrack music from some relatively obscure movie called The Island. Had nothing to do with war or patriotism or anything.
Wait,
sci-fi movie.
Not The Island starring Leonardo DiCaprio. Or no, The Island with Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor, yeah.
Oh God, that movie's bad.
Yeah, but the music, there's a segment of music in that movie at some point that just fits this thing perfectly. I mean, it really does. I'll joking aside, I'll send you a link to it. You ought to watch it. It's really powerful.
What is that trash Leonardo DiCaprio movie? Not The Island. What was that?
I think you're going to need a bigger YouTube channel to cover that base.
No. The Beach. Thank you. Ricky Bobby nailed it. The Beach. Leonardo DiCaprio goes on like a weird hallucinogen trip in the middle of the movie, and it turns into a video game, like a crappy 8-bit video game. Oh, it's so weird. That movie's garbage.
Yeah, it's very self-indulgent. It sounds like.
Yeah. I don't know if it was self-indulgent or if it was some like pedo director like Weinstein or something.
I saw something very interesting. The girls. Somebody did a face, whatever that technology is. They change the face.
Yeah, the face swap, face app,
the face swap thingy. Yeah, whatever it is. Anyway, but they replaced Hayden Christensen with Leonardo DiCaprio in the prequels, and also Jake Lloyd, the little kid, with little
Leo.
yeah, it was frightening how easily the two made it together. I mean, I guess probably Christian and Leo have similar features or something. But anyway, but then of course I was like, well, why don't they put Kate Winslet in as Padme, and that'll make it complete.
He's holding me back. Oh God, it's so bad. I can't
Oh,
even get into it.
The red letter media takedown of the prequels is definitive. You literally can't add anything to it.
Well, I mean, the prequels themselves take themselves down very well. But anyway, I don't want to sit and talk about Star Wars. Bless you twice.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, down on the coast,
yes,
system.
Never sneeze again. Stop.
Right. On the other hand, knowing that you don't want to talk about Star Wars, and I do want to talk about Star Wars one more moment.
Yeah,
The Mandalorian, the ending of The Mandalorian, basically erased 20 years of crap. Thank you.
We'll see. I was listening to.
It gave us the opportunity to erase 20 years of crap.
I was listening to Nerdrotic, I think it was, the other day. He was on stream with my man Az, Heel versus Babyface, and he was suggesting that basically gave Disney permission to make absolute trash for the next several years.
Well, yeah, but you could say that about almost anything. What it also did was give Disney the opening and permission to ignore the sequels.
Yeah, well,
Just
I
completely ignore them.
I don't know if we'll see that happen.
Probably. Well, no. I mean, but before this brief, do not take my joy away. This brief shining moment. In fact, somebody on Facebook asked me. They said, "Well, wait a minute. What did 20 years? I mean, the sequels are only about 8 or 10 years old." I said, "Yes, but the blinding light of awesomeness also washed out the prequels as well." It was anyway.
Wow.
Recommend that show highly to anybody living in Alaska or someplace that's never seen it or something. No, they probably even get it in Alaska.
We'll see. I know some people who have never watched any Star Wars movies at all. Or anything.
Really?
No Star Wars movies, no Star Wars spin-offs, nothing.
Oh, I do too. I work for some people that are like that, but I mean,
yeah. We'll see. Well, let me read a couple of these chats, and then I want to talk about your Cthulhu game. And how that went, and I guess just I don't know. I don't have too much planned for this stream. I figure we just have a place for people to come and hang out and chat as we usher in Christmas in 30 minutes our time, 34 minutes.
Oh yeah,
and,
34 minutes.
And yeah, I figure we do that and let people just have a place to hang out, and we could talk about literally anything. Bad Vibes says, "'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the chat, people told Nicky to put on a hat. His hair hung disheveled like Nick had no care, with the signs that Nicky was just woken up." And he says, "I know the end didn't rhyme. Sue me, boomer." Okay. Damn. Okay.
It's gonna be a hardcore night, man.
Captain Sharky says, "Leighton Gay. Also, have you seen Astartes on YouTube? The Warhammer geek in you will love it, I think." Yes, I have. It's very, very cool. Frederick Little. "Merry Christmas to you, Nick and Ty, your families and friends. Everyone in the chat, Merry Christmas to you all as well. Question for both, as well as everyone in the chat. What is your favorite Christmas movie of all time?" I'll let you go first, even though I know the answer. Yeah. I knew the answer.
Although The Godfather is starting to gain ground. We watched The Godfather today. Yes, The Godfather is a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Just watch it. It is.
I believe you. I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. Mm-hmm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad fighting over
goodness.
It's not, actually. I'm lying completely because that movie is so awful.
Wow. It's Sinbad. I mean, that's just that's a blast from the 90s.
He is a pure product of the 90s, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he appeared and then he left us, and all during that decade.
And I don't know why. I loved watching Sinbad movies as a kid. Like, they were...
It was funny. didn't he get started on one of those like great America's Greatest Comedian kind of shows or something?
Probably. He's
like
like
one of those real early type shows
where like the white audience is like, ooh, look at the black man who doesn't swear when he tells jokes. He's wholesome.
Probably right about that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely right. I grew up with those people.
Non-threatening.
No, he was.
All kidding aside, probably The Christmas Story would be my real favorite Christmas movie, just because.
Yeah, I hated watching Christmas Story as a kid. I like it now.
Well, I saw it in the theater. I mean, I saw it on its theater run with my good buddy Greg. The crazy thing about that was that movie came out before Thanksgiving, and so it hit the theaters and then left before Thanksgiving even occurred. So it's like, why didn't you hold it until Christmas?
Yeah,
and
weird.
it was basically not a very successful movie, made by the director of Porky's, by the way.
Well, I know how they could have juiced up A Christmas Story then.
Well, I mean, let's face it, Ralphie and his friends, you could see them kind of becoming the guys in Porky's.
Yeah.
10 years later. But no, I mean, it was actually not a very successful movie until Turner started running it for 24 hours every Christmas. But what I like about The Christmas Story is it shows a functional but definitely imperfect, family.
Right.
But at the end of the show, Ralphie's dad comes through. And interesting enough, the one person that Ralphie never asks for the BB gun gives him the BB gun.
Yeah.
He never asked his dad for the BB gun. And anyway, the reason you like it now, Nick, is you're a father just like I am. And we tip our hats to the old man in A Christmas Story.
Yes.
That and, my father worked in profanity like other artists worked in oils or clay. It was his true medium.
So I just got a text, and
okay.
I normally don't wouldn't say anything, but I have to give a shout out to my uncle Lewis Paul, who is
Lewis.
Yeah, who's watching.
Bully.
He said,
no kidding.
He says, "Merry Christmas, watching you and Tyrone online live. Best movie is Die Hard. Shoot the glass. Love you, bud." Hey, love you too. Love you too.
Well, let me tell you something about your uncle, and Paul, it'll be okay. Your uncle makes any role-playing game I've ever run better. He's one of those. There's a small subcategory of player in role-playing that. If you can get one or two of them in your campaign, it really doesn't matter what you run because it's going to be fun. And Paul's always been one of those guys. I always knew if I get Paul, and I had another friend who passed away tragically last year, but if I get Paul and James, my other friend, in a game, I didn't have to do anything. I just, y'all are walking down the street and a guy bumps into you, James, and says, "Get out of my way, peasant." That's it. I'm done. At that point, they take it and run with it. But Paul, Merry Christmas, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait to get back down to Texas. I'm hoping to get down to Texas this year. We didn't get to, obviously 2020 put a lot of damper on stuff like that, but we need to get down there in 2021 and see everybody. It's been a year since I've been down to Texas. Obviously, when when's the last time you and I have seen each other face to face? It was the last time I was down there, which was when my grandmother passed.
Oh yeah, that's right. Funeral,
which was just over a year ago, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So that was the last time I've been down. I didn't make it down at all this year. Which
2020 has sucked really bad, but it sure does seem to have gone by quickly. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, it's well, in some ways it has. In other ways, it's dragged on. But when you look back and you realize that you didn't do anything other than the mundane stuff, it makes the year seem really short. Because it's like you didn't break it up with the normal amount of events that you would do. Where it's like, oh,
you're right.
Yeah. I would have had
the
this
stuff
trip.
that you would
and this-
remember, the stuff that you would remember, the bookends for the mundane stuff. It was basically just one long, miserable stay-at-home weekend.
Yeah,
That
except
lasted a year.
and you kept having to work during it.
Yeah, I work inefficiently at that.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy working from home. In fact, I stopped doing it about as quickly as I reasonably could. That's just not mine. I got to have an office. I got to have a place to go.
Yeah.
Excuse me for rubbing my eyes, but I've got this kind of itchy thing happening here. That's
No, it's fine.
Sure
If you swell up, I'll call 911 or whatever.
yeah. Yeah. Well, so Texas is one.
They're
of the
coming at
states
me
where
through the water now. The water's irritating my eyes. I don't know what to do.
Space aliens were. Texas has like 4 geographic regions that all converge in the state. That's one of the reasons our weather is so completely insane.
Yeah.
But as a result of that, you can drive somewhere in Texas and find yourself in a completely different climatic zone, and all of a sudden, allergies that you have no defense from will just come and annihilate. We're down in Rockport, actually, on the coast.
Okay.
Near Corpus Christi.
I was gonna say, what climatic zone are you in? Because I'm
the
in
the Gulf zone.
I'm in the
Gulf of
mother
Mexico.
effing tundra climatic zone.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You have but one climate zone, and that's the cold zone. The really, really cold zone.
When Lady Raggets and I went out to go grab some. We went out to grab some Christmas presents for the kids last minute and get the last minute stuff for the box, and because we had a blizzard yesterday, wasn't really safe to drive. We didn't get a ton of snow. It was just blowing everywhere and you couldn't see. And it was, but today was the aftermath of that, which is freezing cold. And so we go out and it was 5 degrees when we left the house. And then when we got back, it was -8 or something.
Is that before the wind chill?
Yeah, that's the air temp.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
So that means if the air is blowing, you'll get freezer burn.
It got
skin.
way cold.
Well, we had a cold front blow down through here. Last night, it was about 65, 70 degrees when we got here at, 6 p.m. This morning, I got up. Now, of course, we're on the water, so, you have to take into account, and the wind was blowing. But I bet it was 15 or 20 degrees. No warmer than that.
Wow.
And it's been pretty darn, we had some kind of cold front blew through. It rained late last night and early this morning. But anyway, if it wasn't dark, I could pan the camera and show you a beautiful ocean view. We're literally on the Gulf of Mexico view.
Right. The lovely brown water of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes, it is. But it's a pleasant kind of taupey brown.
Oh.
Hey man, water's water. Okay?
Water is water. Water is as water does, or whatever.
Water is as water does. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Die Hard is one of my favorite movies. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit safe to say the Die Hard Christmas movie, even though it's true. So what I'm gonna go with, just as an alternative to that, is I'm gonna say Scrooged, Bill Murray.
I liked Scrooged, actually.
Yeah.
I thought it was really
great flick.
Bobcat Goldthwait as the as the put upon executive was pretty good.
I saw
it's
him.
Like the Lee Majors, Santa Claus Against Terrorists.
I saw Bobcat live. I saw him do a stand up. It was.
I thought he's hysterical.
He's great.
His career kind of went sideways. Sam Kinison hated his guts. I don't remember what, and vice versa. The Godfather, the Christmas movie. Yeah, I already told him. Okay. Yeah. Brianna was reminding me. I was supposed to mention that the Godfather is now a Christmas movie. It truly is.
Okay, I need to go back and rewatch it and figure out how.
I mean, if Christmas Spirit turns you into a mass murdering criminal, but
what doesn't? What doesn't turn you into a mass murdering criminal? Yeah.
Today I resolve all family business.
Yeah.
Michael Corleone, do you reject Satan? I reject Satan. Do you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? I accept him. Anyway, great movie. Pardon me.
Yeah.
I hope the echo isn't too bad. We're in the kitchen of the place. So.
The acoustics are not great, but there have been worse, so it's no big deal.
Oh yeah. Well, we did this last year. We vacation on Christmas. We always go somewhere. And I remember I was on your show last year. Doug and I think.
Yeah, probably.
Whoever your regular guest was bailed on you, and so we leapt into the breach, such as it is.
Oh no. It's I'll have to tell you off screen what that was. Okay. I was hoping to have a guest, and it didn't pan out, but I'll tell you about it. Okay. I'll tell you about it later. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I go with Scrooged. I that's a good flick. It's very fun. I haven't seen it in a long time. I need to rewatch it. Oh yeah, that was actually Lady Raggets and I went to go get coffee for her because I hate coffee, but it was at the Caribou Coffee, and they always have a 10-cent discount if you get the trivia question right. And the trivia question today is, let's see if you can answer it. They were closed, so I don't know what answer they chose, and I think they're wrong anyway. How many ghosts show up in the Scrooge story? In the Christmas Carol. And the options are 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah. Now you're talking about the actual story, or are you talking about the movie Scrooge?
No, the actual story, not the movie Scrooge. The Christmas Carol story.
I think it was 4, wasn't it? Because of the 3 Christmas ghosts. But wasn't there one other ghost somewhere?
Yeah, there's like his guide ghost.
Yeah. I thought so, yeah.
So I think it's a trick, because I think it's the trick question is people always want to say 3, but it's 4.
Yeah, I think it's 4, yeah.
But I think there may have been another ghost somewhere, but I can't remember. But I know there's 4. But I think they might have gotten one wrong. I think they might have missed one.
I'll tell you, if you ever get a chance, a really funny, Christmas Carol derivative Christmas show is the Blackadder Christmas Carol. It's really good because it starts out with Ebenezer Blackadder, who is this nice, sweet, gentle man that everyone loves and takes ruthless advantage of. And, and Robbie Coltrane plays the ghost of Christmas, past, present, future. And bottom line is that the story goes exactly the direction you'd expect a Blackadder story to go. So anyway, but it's really funny. He jumps actually between the periods that he had done it. So you see him in the in the Elizabethan period. You see him in the Napoleonic War. I guess it was the Regency period. Yeah, Prince Regent. Anyway, really good. And you get to see a far future Blackadder, which is really good. So anyway, the same.
I'll have to check it out sometime.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Blackadder.
Sure.
It's not misanthropes.
Oh, you know what we did a couple years ago? We went to go see what's the heavy metal Christmas group? Is it it's not Mannheim Steamroller. It's the
No, they're not heavy metal. They're just No, I know you're talking about
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Yeah.
Yes.
We went and saw that live. They were playing up here, and my in-laws, again, when you start getting like 1 billion kids in the family, and we have 5, Lady Racket's siblings, have 4 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 2. There's a whole lot of kids, right? And a whole lot. Yeah. And she's from a family of 7, so there's a whole mess of us. And they're like, we got to stop buying all these toys for these kids because it's just like they all get too many anyway. So they're like, let's go do stuff. And so Trans-Siberian Orchestra came, and we went, and that was a terrific show. It's just like there's fire everywhere. There's like this weird sort of like mythological Christmas story going on, and I don't even know. All I know is there's like platforms raising up and dudes playing guitar and more fire. There's lots of fire. It was good. It's perfect for Christmas. Just a bunch of pyro. Fire. Yeah, it was good.
Have you ever seen the Blue Man Group? Speaking of just really good live shows.
Yes, twice.
That is surreal. You know, when I was in college and knew a bunch of stoners, I would have loved to have taken some of them to a Blue Man Group show. I mean, but the thing is, it's so surreal. You don't actually have to be stoned to enjoy it.
Actually, Lady Rackets had to save one of our children who was an infant from the flying Jello. Because they make, they have this giant Jello mold, right? And it's like it's big, like it's this big giant thing, and they catapult it into the audience, and we were sitting, probably in like the 4th row, and she's sitting there holding the baby, and this giant, Jello comes flying into the crowd. And the thing probably weighs 10 pounds or something, and it's launched from the stage, and she deflected it. She like got her arm up and knocked it down. But I mean, it would have hit our baby like right in the face.
Wow.
And we're talking.
I don't remember Jello, but well, of course, it's been a long, long time since I've been to one of their shows. But I don't remember the Jello. I remember the giant balls, the big.
Yeah, that was
balls. Those were.
We saw
those
that.
Were odd.
We saw that show with the giant balls at the end, right, where you're hitting them, and it's a big party at the end. That was great. And then it was a couple years later, we went and saw them again. It was a different set that they did, and this one had a giant Jello. And then there was a guy who was like across, because we were right on the aisle, and there was a guy who was across the aisle who was I think he had Down syndrome, right? And so the Jello like had come flying or whatever, and Lady Rackets saved the baby.
We're gonna be laughing at a guy with Down syndrome being
no. It was
okay,
no. He didn't get hit. No,
because I'm weak and I really just don't want that to be on video.
They got like after they launched the little Jello, there's a huge one that comes out later, and that guy turns and he says, "Protect the baby." Yeah, it was magnificent.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. So you did the death metal Christmas music thing, and so that was better than just giving the kids a bunch of toys.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Well, yeah, y'all got to do stuff.
Yeah, we got to do stuff. I think we got them a bunch of little junk. This is the thing. Someone invented loot boxes, but in toys, and they're the smartest person ever. And they do them for boys and girls.
Oh my God! You have $5 worth of toys in a $50 box.
Well, these are $1 worth of toy in a $5 box.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But you buy like 30 of them. Because they're only this big. It's a stupid little thing. It's like, oh, Roblox. Oh, yeah. And it comes with a virtual item. So the kids want that. And then for the girls, there's like these LOL things, which is garbage, but it's random garbage. So they're like, oh, cool. This garbage is different than the other garbage. Or then you get these little, it's everything. Everything now is like a random chance. It's like these little cutito stuffed animal things that are like... I hate so their stockings are just stuffed full of these things, and we've got a whole bunch of that stuff, and we got a couple gifts, but we're gonna put together a trip for them. We're just trying to, which is what we did last year. Last year we went to the Great Wolf Lodge, which is a big water park by the Mall of America, and we stayed for a couple days. And
that's in Grapevine.
What? No.
There's one of those in Grapevine, Texas.
There could be one of those in Grapevine, Texas. I don't know.
There's one. And what's the other one?
We went to the one by the Mall of America up here in Bloomington.
Right. There's a gigantic mall, and that's probably not quite as big as the Mall of America, but it's pretty darn huge in Grapevine. But there's the Wolf Lodge, and there's the other one. What's it called? Oh crap! It's a big dome enclosed thing. Like it could be the inside of a starship.
Yeah.
It's got a climate controlled interior. Oh crap! It'll come to me.
Yeah, well, Great Wolf Lodge is no, that's fine. They have a bunch of locations. I think they have one in like Vegas or something too. They have one in Wisconsin Dells. But yeah, so we did that last year. So we want to put together a trip for them because we'd like to do the same thing. Go do something together because the toys, they just, they really just play with their iPads and stuff like that. And so they get toys and they're like, oh, I love this. And then it's just clutter. After
for 5 minutes,
yeah,
and then
So
and with toys, the problem with toys is you never know what they're going to actually like. We used to be, Tori and I used to be like the stealth toy gift givers, because we would always give fun toys, even if they only cost $1. I remember one time Tori gave one of my, her nephews or mine, anyway, bought a $1, rubber stopper firing dart pistol.
Yeah.
And the kid gets $100 toys and all this kind of crap. What does he spend all day playing with on Christmas? The $1 stopper firing gun.
Yeah, of course.
Because it was something because it fired something. It was, My nephews can say that with total truthfulness that I was a good gift giving uncle because I gave them toys that I would have liked to have played with when I was their age.
Yeah. Yeah. So all the 15-year-olds get Playboy. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Anyway. So we want to put together a trip, but we don't know when everything's going to open up. That's the problem we're having.
I was a little concerned coming down here. We set this vacation up like in February or March of last year, of 2020, excuse me. I'm wanting to go there. I want to go to the USS Lexington the day after Christmas. It's supposedly going to be open, so we'll see.
Yeah.
It's in Corpus Christi, about 20 miles from where we are.
Oh, you're way down by Corpus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're about 25 miles out of Corpus.
Corpus Christi is the farthest place on Earth.
It is that's one of those illustrations of yes, Texas is that big. From Tyler, it's about a 6.5 hour drive if you make good time.
We had
6.5 hours, but you're not even a third of the way across the state of Texas.
No, no, it's awful. Well, we had a family reunion. We had 2 family reunions down there not too long ago, and each time we left Corpus and drove back to Minnesota from Corpus.
Oh my God.
And it's like, oh God, this trip was already forever. It was brutal.
How long would it take you to get to Tyler if you drove from Minnesota? What was the
it depends on how the kids are, but it's drive time's about,
if it was a straight shot, if you didn't say stop,
14 to 16 hours.
Okay, so Corpus is literally 50% further.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get to Tyler, you're only 2/3 of the way to Corpus.
Yeah, it's horrid. I think my dad did the Twin Cities to Tyler drive in like some ridiculous amount of time because he was alone, and when he was just driving like 100 million miles an hour, and he never stopped or whatever. But yeah, that with the kids, it tends to take a little bit longer.
I mean, when you consider how, the northern border of Texas is probably 2 hours from Tyler, that means that when you hit the border of Texas, you were only halfway to Corpus.
Yeah, no, I think the northern border. I think the northern border of Texas is 3 hours from Tyler, because it takes
could be
takes you about an hour to get down to Dallas, and then at least and then close to 2 hours to get over to Tyler from there.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about if you go through Dallas, yeah, sure. I was thinking just heading, kind of as a crow flies from the north, because it takes us like 3 hours to get to Broken Bow, and so it's an hour and a half, 2 hours to the border Oklahoma. Anyway, long story short is yes, Texas is huge.
Yeah.
In fact, the classic story I probably told on your show at one point was many moons ago. I was dealing with a distributor for a store I worked at, and they were south of Chicago. They were in some suburb of Chicago, and they were going to be in El Paso and wanted to know if we wanted to drive down and meet them. And I'm like, El Paso's actually further from us than you are.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah. I was like, no, check an atlas. You don't believe me. He called back and said, that was an exaggeration. Tyler's actually about 30 miles further to El Paso than it is to Chicago. I'm sorry, it's 30 miles further to Chicago than it is to El Paso or something like that. But well, okay, yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
In my exaggeration, but yeah, Texas the United States is huge. I had a friend from the UK one time that flew. He flew from England to like Washington State, and he said, we spent more time over the continental United States than we did over the Atlantic Ocean.
Yep.
I said, yeah, that's why when y'all start talking about mass transit and get all snippy and snooty, you got to remember it won't work here because it's too expensive. As anyone who's ever played SimCity knows.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I learned just how ridiculously big Texas was when several years ago we had a thing to be at in Tyler, but we were up in Colorado. And it was like, oh, what we'll do is we'll take our Colorado trip for a week, and we were up just northwest of Denver, and then we'll drive down to Roswell, New Mexico, and see the alien stuff, which of course we get there and it was all closed, so that was pointless. And then we'll shoot across Texas, right? We'll just drive
across the deserts of West Texas.
We'll just drive east from there. And oh dear God, man. It took for all of T Boone's Pickens windmills were up, and that's all it is for like 300 miles. That's all you see. Yeah. And every single town is abandoned. And it's like, okay, where do you get gas? Because I'm pretty sure this is The Hills Have Eyes. And you don't want to be here.
It's pretty thinly popular. I drove to Midland one time, Midland, Odessa, and it's actually, by the time you take into account the amount of time you spend at the airport and all the hassle and the layover, you actually can drive it in almost the same amount of time as you could fly it from Tyler. I will never, ever, ever, ever drive it again because it is the dullest drive. I mean, you're literally at the point of wanting to have a car wreck just to break up the monotony. It's just, and it's somebody like me that has ADD anyway. It's like, okay, now I have another vision of what hell would be like if Dante is right and I wound up there. You're driving in West Texas forever.
Yeah, yeah.
Never get to your destination.
Stacy Dealman says, Merry Christmas, Nick and Ty. Also, Merry Christmas to Ty's daughters. Hope you all are well.
We are. We're having a good time.
Yeah, well, speak for yourself. I'm well also.
Well, I'm not living in the tundra, so
it is so cold. Oh, get this. Okay, what's today, Ty? It's Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve, yeah.
And it's also Thursday.
All right.
Okay. So you know about my kitchen fiasco that's been going on since early September.
I think I blocked a lot of it out because it was just so horrible to listen to that I felt my heart being torn, ripped out by the roots, and I just couldn't take it.
On Monday, the 28th, we are finally scheduled to get our countertops in. Our countertops
scheduled to get them in. Now, does that mean installed? Or does
yes,
that mean
installed.
Okay.
No, they're going to bring them out and install them on the 28th. And then after that, there's
almost no way they're going to be able to do that, right?
There's very little left after that. Just some baseboards need to go back up or whatever. But the 28th. So I get an email at 11:30 this morning.
Oh boy.
From the countertop lady. And she says, okay, installers are coming out Monday, which I knew. And then she says, your stove and the countertop on the island, which is still there. They didn't have to remove that one. They said, your stove and the countertop on the island need to be gone.
You mean gone? Like
they need to be taken off. The stove has to be out of there, and the countertop needs to be removed. And I'm like,
it's 2 days after Christmas.
It's 11:30 in the morning on Christmas Eve on a Thursday, which means Christmas is on Friday, which means Nick, Saturday and Sunday are next, and they're coming on Monday at 10 in the morning, and I have to have...
Nick, this has been a weird year, you bringing this up. I'm having this too. I must have gotten 10 emails today. Every one of which I went, for bleep's sake, it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Has part of the COVID thing made everybody just completely unaware of holidays?
I don't know.
Because I've had demands made on me in the last few days that, look, I negotiated a huge business deal on Thanksgiving Day one year and closed it December 15th. So, I'm willing to work and everything, but I've just dealt with a whole bunch of crap that normally clients wouldn't be demanding about and certainly would be at least vaguely apologetic. I'm sorry to bring this to you on Christmas Eve. No, it's like half the world out there doesn't even know it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. I'm like, okay, so I don't know. I mean, I can figure out how to remove the countertop, sort of, except it's like 400 pounds.
I was going to say, yeah, moving it out. Disconnecting it isn't the problem. It's the getting it out that I would think.
Yeah, because when they did it,
replacing it.
Yeah, they're replacing. Because they had to replace the other countertop.
That's just asinine. I mean,
yeah.
And they won't haul it off for you.
No, they'll haul it off. I think they better. Well, actually, correction. I felt so bad. I called the guy who's the contractor who's coordinating all the work. And he said, I called him. I'm like, I am so sorry to call you on Christmas Eve with this. And I left a message. I'm like, whatever you can do, man. I don't know. Because if they have to reschedule this thing, who knows when it's going to be. And I'm like, I'm supposed to have this stuff out by Monday. I asked when they were there measuring the countertops. I'm like, so you guys take these off or whatever? The guy's like, oh, yeah, someone will. Of course I get no answer.
The lawyer, and you should have went, wait, stop. That's not the question I asked.
But see, that's
I asked, are you?
Well, the problem is this whole process, it's, a main contractor and then several subcontractors doing floor and painting and all these different things. And so it's always, someone will coordinate it. And it's been like that the whole time. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. Someone will get everything done.
Well, your general contractor should theoretically be the one, but
right. But no one told him until today either.
Oh.
And so I called him and I'm like, I am so sorry to bug you on Christmas Eve, but I got this email.
Is he going to be able to?
He said someone will take care of it. He will have someone take care of it. And I'm like, that's in your hands, man.
This is how we got ourselves. So we got ourselves into this problem in the first place.
Yeah, I'm like,
it'll probably be all right. I mean,
No. I mean, he told me the guy's name who's supposed to be. He's like the carpenter guy, the head of the carpenter guy. He talked to him, and he's gonna have someone come out. And I'm like on a Sunday. I mean, I guess. I hope so. I don't know. All I know is when they removed the other part of the counter, it was they had to use like a saw. They had to saw through the tile, and they had to take it off in teams because it's tiles, and so it's really heavy. The other counter was. Yeah. And this one is in wider chunks because it's the island, so it's thicker, and it's like, if I had to remove it, I would need people and tools that I don't own, and I would probably damage something. And so I was like, oh my God. But apparently someone's going to come take care of it.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah. I'm like,
hey, listen, one of my favorite Frank Sinatra songs starts out with fairy tales can come true.
Right.
It can happen to you.
But when I saw that email this morning with it's got a little exclamation point on it, right? Because it's important. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. This is This is exactly what I expected to happen.
Literally nothing surprises me anymore about this year. But today, one of the things that I do is, unless I've got a transaction going on, when I take that once a year, I vacation one time a year at Christmas. That's it. That's the only time and look, like I said, I've negotiated a large business transaction on the wharf in front of the Magic Kingdom at Disney World.
Yeah.
So if it matters, I don't take days off if it matters. But once I schedule a vacation, I get out of here and I turn off. And of course, all the people that know me should normally realize that. But I'm not joking. I checked my email this afternoon and I was like, I don't believe this. It's like the kind of emails you get on a typical Monday of a typical work week. And I'm going, it's literally Christmas Eve. And I don't know how I'm going to respond. I think I'm going to email them back tomorrow and just say, look, guys, it's Christmas and I'm not in the office, and this is not the kind of stuff you want me trying to do remote from the coast anyway. But yeah, I must be COVID or something. I don't know. It's very strange.
All right, we've got Gelth Walker.
Hey, Gelth.
Says, check your Discord. What happened to you happened to me. You can share with the chat. Oh my goodness, I'm having PTSD already. He's got a burst. One of those flexible kitchen, like the pipes under the kitchen, but it's that flexible steel mesh around. Yeah, it's just got a hole. It just burst out. The water just towards that. It sucks. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. I hope everything works out
for a substance that all life requires, water can be such a pain in the ass and can be so destructive.
Yeah, it's good luck, man. Bad Vibe says, have you watched The Fat Man yet? No, I have not. Have you seen the
Fat Man?
Have you seen the preview for the newest Mel Gibson movie, The Fat Man?
No.
He is Santa Claus, and he gave some rich 12-year-old kid a lump of coal for Christmas, so the kid takes out a hit on him. Oh
my goodness, that sounds too precious for this world.
I think it's the guy who plays Mayhem. You know what I'm talking about? Let's see, who's the other actor? Walton Goggins. He's the guy who's Mayhem in those insurance commercials.
Oh, I thought it was a guy named Dean.
Or maybe that's not. No, that's not Mayhem. Is it? Is it Mayhem? Damn it, Walton.
That guy who does the. Yeah, and that's yeah.
Oh no, it's a different guy, anyway. But they remind me of each other. But it is a different guy. But Walton Goggins, he's in.
But a hit on Santa Claus.
He's in Justified. He's in Justified. He's in The Hateful Eight. The Shield.
I've probably seen him.
If you see, he's got the face. Like if you see this guy's face, you'll know who he is immediately.
Yeah.
But he's the hitman.
I'll have to see that one because Mel Gibson's a great actor. He may be batshit crazy. I don't know. How much of that is genuine and how much of it's hype, but he's a great actor, in my opinion. So it's The Fat
Man. Yeah, it looked.
Might even join the annual Christmas movie canon, depending on how it plays out.
Let's see. Hold on. I had to respond to a loving hater in the chat.
No, loving hater.
No, it is. He said, you guys need to get capable. My sink got a leak. I replaced the pipes, boards. And
Dean Winters. Yeah, Dean Winters is the Mayhem guy.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Don Gamer Guy says, you guys need to get capable. My sink got a leak. I replaced the pipes, boards, and put in new faucets. Did the same with my toilet. Man, when all is said and done, this repair from this kitchen disaster is going to be like $40,000. So, which
I stopped doing that kind of work when I was in high school, and I've never gone back to it.
Yeah, which is the 40. Thank God, insurance is covering all of that. But no, like the amount of stuff. Even the people doing it couldn't do all the work by themselves. I've had to have so many different people out.
Once you introduce water to a problem, You know, we had an interesting little funny thing that happened about a month or two ago. We one night my wife comes and goes, "Honey, I think we've got a slab leak." I'm going, "Oh, great." This house had one long ago, so it was just within the realm of plausibility. And I go in there and and it looks like water is, oozing up from below the tile in the kitchen. So I get on the phone, call a client of mine who rehabs houses. You have a slab guy? Yeah, call this guy. And I walk in there and I was like, okay. I put a towel down. Well, I pick the towel up and the water's not there anymore. Okay, well, maybe somebody spilled the water. So I go back into the other room and piddle around, come back later, and the water's back. I'm like, shit. So I just about resigned myself to a slab leak. Long story short, it's one of our cats who has now decided he won't drink water from his bowl. He sloshes his water out of the bowl.
Licks it off the floor.
Licks it off the floor. And he's done that for years, but for whatever reason, he sloshed it a little further than he normally does. Anyway, but I spent about a week there in a purgatory going, oh God, slab leak. No. So we got lucky, but
You need to find a Twitch thought to throw the cat for you. Toss it. Let's see. Gaku says Muppet Christmas Carol is the best Christmas movie. Don't at me. Would you consider reaching out to someone like James Lindsay to bring him on to discuss the legal implications of postmodernism and critical theory? Merry Christmas, everyone. I don't
want a court order.
I don't know who James Lindsay is. I have no idea who that is. Do you?
And no, but I said critical race theory. I think maybe.
Well, I just said critical theory.
Critical legal theory. That's right. That was it. When we were in law, it was critical legal studies. CLS is what they call it when I was in law school. And yeah, I know. We had a term for it.
Don't take critical anything in post-secondary education.
No. There was a particularly misogynistic term that we used for it in law school, which I will not repeat here. But yeah, it was basically Marxist bullshit, basically.
I don't think this guy is that. I think he's a guy who is critical of that, probably.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be a friendly chat. I don't know who he is. Sure, I'd have him on. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Call him. tell him to come on.
Hey, have his people call my people.
I'm happy to. Barry Linden says, you guys are a perfect 10 as a team, as in Nick is 1 and Ty is the 0. You guys really need to start working out. Greetings from your Cuban fans in North New Jersey.
Well, you know what? I think, Nick, we can be gracious because for Cuban people in New Jersey, they have a reason to be angry, I think.
Yeah.
if they want to take it out on us, I think we can in the spirit of Christmas, let them do that.
I'll go to the gym and be his punching bag. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right, Barry. I do need to hit the gym and work out. It's really tough.
It's all about how much time you've got in the day and what you're going to spend doing it.
Jonathan Dolph says, hello, Ty and Nick. Wasn't down in Tyler last week for Santa Land with family and was down in Tyler. Thought about stopping by Ty's office after stopping to buy a non-Jack Daniels for Ty. Looked at the time and it was 10 p.m. Oh well, next time, Ty.
There have been nights where I would have been at the office that late, but I don't. But we've got our phone system set up so that I can't actually answer my phone. Well, there's a reason for all that. Tracking and making sure that proper follow-up is done, so all the calls to me go through someone else.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sure. Depending on the day, I very well could have been there. It's been kind of a crazy month, to say the least.
Low Ghost says, if Die Hard is a Christmas movie, then I think Lethal Weapon should be considered one too. Merry Christmas, Ty. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Happy Hanukkah, Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, L'chaim or whatever. Is that thank you?
And Happy Festivus to everyone. In fact, Nick and I we're about to get to the airing of the grievances.
Yes.
Tell you people how you've all disappointed us this year. Then will come the feats of strength.
Was Lethal Weapon at Christmas time too? I love that movie.
I think
That
it
movie's
was.
great.
I think it was.
But I never end up watching Lethal Weapon 1. I always end up watching like Lethal Weapon 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
4. Were there 4 of those?
Was it? Well, it was 2 that had the South Africans, wasn't it? They were the
Maybe.
diplomatic community. Yeah, and they were killing.
I think it
They were
was
killing black folks because they were just evil South Africans.
I think it was 4 with 4 with Jet Li in it. It was his first American movie appearance. And it was great.
I don't recall 3 or 4. I think I'm going to have to step off the stream for a second. I've got something in my eye that's going to keep bugging me. And
that's fine.
Back in just a minute.
No worries. I can fill time. I am a consummate professional. It had a Christmas tree decorated with condoms because of the daughter's condom commercial. Oh, that's great. Oh, man. I love the 80s. I want it back. I want them back now. Bring back the 80s. Bring them to me. Goodness gracious. See. I'll save that one. I'll save that one for Ty. Oh gosh. Hey guys, while Ty's gone, I'm waiting to read some chats because they involve him, but I just want to say thank you all. Merry Christmas to you guys. I know 2020 has been a shit year in general. With COVID, people have not been able to see family and friends in the same way. They haven't been able to do the same stuff. Heck, you can't even go sit down at a restaurant in a lot of states right now. So I want to say I'm glad you're all here with me every night. It keeps me sane. I hope this show provides entertainment and enjoyment for you guys. And I hope that you have a fine Christmas as well. And I hope that, you're able to at least get some enjoyment out of something like this. And we'll get some good time to spend this year a little bit. I know you guys have given me a ton of good times this year, and here's to a whole lot more of them next year as well. So,
by the way, are you imbibing anything in particular tonight?
I'm drinking right now. I've got this 1792 bottled in bond bourbon.
I'm doing the awesome Tito's vodka.
Just Tito's, or are you mixing it?
I
see your jug of orange drink there. That's nice.
Hey man, I'm a simple man with simple tastes. You should know that about me by now.
Yeah. Okay, I was waiting for you.
It's actual orange juice. I mean, it's not made from concentrate. Oh, it is made from concentrate. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
I was waiting for you to come back to get back to the chats because they all say hello Ty in them, which is ridiculous.
Oh well, hi guys.
But
Nick, you enable it though.
I did want to read this one. This is from Asshole. That's the name. It says, so lawyers wait until deadlines to file any documents and can't pay a high school kid minimum wage to read through it and point out obvious errors. WTF is the point of lawyers. Your channel is an advert for pro se filing. As for $500 an hour lawyers can't find the I to dot. Yeah. Yeah. The funny thing is,
an asshole. Go fuck yourself. Sorry, it's been a long year.
but I think I don't think that commentary was as targeted as you might be thinking. But with the
probably not. But.
With the lawsuits around the election stuff, right? Like because law Twitter exists, and so one of the filings by Lynn Wood in his certification, it says this is filed with plenty of perjury or under plenty of perjury as opposed to penalty of perjury. So there's
perjury, yeah.
so there's a scrivener's error in there, and they're like, oh, look at this. And then Sidney Powell had a lawsuit where she transposed Biden and Trump, and so it said that it switched votes away from Biden and in favor of Trump. But then in the next line, it said, so this damaged Donald Trump or whatever.
Yeah,
and people were like, oh, now she's going to lose. And it's like, the court knows what she's talking about. And that's not going to be the issue.
The fact that lawyers actually have a special lawyer word for typographical errors should be some indication to imbeciles that maybe this is just part of the process.
Well, I think people are just
sorry, asshole. It's been a long day.
I think people are just I think people are just starting to realize and learn like how common stuff like that actually is. It just is. You're writing hundreds of pages and you're writing it under a time crunch.
Hypothetically, we'll use some hypothetical numbers, but they're probably reasonably accurate. Let's say that by reading a document for an hour, I read a document for an hour and there will only be 1% errors if I read it for an hour. Okay. You say, well, I think it'd be worth paying you your hourly rate of $500 to read that document, make sure there's no errors. I'd say no errors is 1%. That's 1 in 100. Well, heck, on a typical sheet of paper, you've got something like, 10 or 15 words a line, 20 or 30 lines a page. You see the math.
500 words. 500 words a page minimum.
Okay. Yeah. So you could be looking at as many as 5 typos a page with a 99% accuracy rate. We can't have that. We've got to get it to 99.9. Okay. Well, what if it takes 8 hours or 10 hours to get to that level? Yeah. Well, it's probably worth it. Okay. Great. Now we're down to an error every other page. And it's going to be 10 times more. You see the problem? You're never going to achieve perfection. All you can really do is just increase the probabilities, the numbers. But unfortunately, it's not a linear cost thing, right? To ensure your stuff is 99% accurate doesn't take a lot of time. 99.9% takes a lot of time. 99.99% takes a staggering amount of time. And we are all first of all, clients have limited money. Even if you are lucky enough to have clients that money is no object, you may have a time constraint. You may run out of time. Yeah. If you keep screwing around on stuff. I mean, you have to look.
I have to put a stop to this. I have to put a stop to this. Listen, all you need is one drunk lawyer with 3 hours to read the document. Checkmate.
Fair enough. but that's a funny thing, right? All kidding aside, you raise a very interesting point. Hell, there might even be an opportunity to make money at this if you could convince lawyers to use you. In the publishing industry, you have a thing called editors and proofreaders. There are people who are not familiar with your document and they proofread it. The problem we run into in the legal profession is the very people doing the proofreading were also the people that wrote it. Well, you can't proofread your own document with anything like the level of accuracy that you could proofread a document you've never read before. Yeah. Right. I mean, and that's why the publishing industry splits those tasks like they do. But again, it's all about time and money. And the thing is, if we can get a hold of that drunk lawyer and he's not busy that day and he's got his time frame. And of course, another thing about legal documents is, I think I've said this on your show before, legal documents are never finished. They're abandoned. Yeah. You keep messing with them right up until the moment that they're ready to file because you keep polishing, you keep rethinking, you keep this idea, you waited to the last minute. Of course you did, because you're going to keep polishing every opportunity you have. Anyway, we live in a world of limited resources, limited money, limited time, limited this, limited that. And shitheads on Twitter who don't have any clients I really couldn't care less about their opinion because they're irrelevant. Get out there, get real clients, get into a real case, and show me your perfect pleadings. Then I'll be interested to see them.
Did I ever tell you about the brilliant Twitter legal commentator Mike Dunford when he had a clip from one of his Twitch streams where he was talking about an exclusive licensing agreement for a news station like an ABC News or something, so you contribute a video to them and you grant them an exclusive license to air the footage, right? And they have a standard indemnification clause in there. Mind you, this is an exclusive license. So to have a breach of the exclusive license, you would have to give the video to someone else also, right? Like that would be the only way, would theoretically. So he's like, oh, this indemnification clause. No, this is a no go for me. You know what I would do? I would tell him, you know, indemnification is a big ask on this, and we're just not going to have it. And I was like, then they just
laugh your ass out of the room.
Yeah, it's like, wait, so you're going to call up ABC or whoever, CNN, and you're going to try and negotiate out indemnification on an exclusive license to air your crappy 40-second cell phone video that they can get from someone else. First of all, who are you representing in this agreement? But
literally no one. and that's the proof, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I tell young lawyers all the time. In fact, I had a very high maintenance case roll down the pike this week where I had to talk to another lawyer about things like this. But I tell young lawyers all the time, when you've been hired to negotiate as opposed to simply review a document or whatever, when you're hired to help negotiate, the one thing you've got to understand, you can't get wrong, is how much leverage do you have? Yeah. What is so, you know, a real simple example for normal people who are, you know, fortunate not to be lawyers. If your client is going to rent a 1,000 square foot space in a 1 million square foot office complex, okay, you're probably not going to be able to do much better, if at all, than their standard lease they throw down in front of you. Why? Because you're just not that important.
Right.
And asking anyone to deviate from their standard agreement imposes a cost on them. Uncertainty, the legal costs of having to run it by their lawyer, the hassle. Much easier for them to say, nope, I'll just wait for the next person to rent the 1/1000th of my complex.
Yeah.
You know, you have no leverage. Now, on the other hand, if you're renting 500,000 square feet of that million square foot complex, guess what? You probably do have plenty of leverage. So you see, fuckwits like Mike Dunford are missing one key fact. He's assuming infinite leverage, which only an imbecile who needs a legal guardian would do, because that doesn't exist. You know?
Right. Oh yeah, and just considering the two parties, you know, it's literally CNN versus guy with a cell phone video. There's probably another one.
Probably.
And they can report on it without the video too. Like they just don't need it.
If this video is the definitive video of the Kennedy assassination that shows the guy on the grassy knoll actually firing the bullet definitively, sure.
On a cell phone, very good.
On a cell phone,
that's a real good video.
Yeah, because that would also imply the time machine. Well, but I mean, but no. But your point is, I mean, if you don't ask yourself what my leverage is, you're not doing your job, because you're answering questions without enough facts. You know, it's all about leverage. I had a case this week that I was dealing with where the client got pissed off at his other lawyer and hired me. Actually, on the basis of a recommendation from somebody who watched your show.
Hey.
And well, the other side, we've commenced battle, and the other side actually communicated with the other lawyer. And that kind of cheesed the client off, and he wondered why I wasn't pissed off, and I laughed and I said, "Well, we've needed a good cop anyway in this case."
Yeah.
Well, you do. I mean, if you're going to do a serious negotiation, this case is going to call for some serious negotiation if we have any chance of settling it. You got to have a good cop and a bad cop. And Nick, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but I am just not a very good cop.
No, you don't say.
No, really, it's true. It's true. In fact, there was one time Jim Bullock and I, Jim's is the quintessential good cop. Jim and I one time in a case decided we would flip the roles. I would be the good cop and he would be the bad cop. And it was a compleit fiasco.
Yeah, I was going to say, you had two bad cops, didn't you?
Sheer hubris. Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah. I said, well, neither one of us will go out of our wheelhouse again on this. But anyway, so, they get a hold of this other lawyer. Well, it turns out she was actually a pretty good lawyer. And honestly, she hadn't told the client anything I didn't tell him. But there was a personality and compatibility. But she's also much more familiar with the case, and it's an administrative law kind of thing and a fairly esoteric thing, blah, blah, blah. And the first question I asked her on the phone was, hey, what's our leverage here? If we're going to actually try to negotiate, what's our leverage? And so she began to tick that off. Well, later on, when I talked to her privately, she said, you're the first lawyer I ever talked to that actually asked what the leverage was before you started theorizing about what we're going to do. I said, I kind of think how much leverage we have is sort of important when you're figuring out your game plan. She said, I do too. It was just so refreshing.
It matters a little bit.
Yeah, and for the non-lawyers out there, that's a critical thing in any part of life. It's not just negotiation for deals. Anytime you're trying to change the deal on someone, think about how much leverage, how much ability you have to pressure the other side you have, and calibrate your demands accordingly. Because there's no shame in it. If you're a penny ante player in a real estate deal, for example, and you can't get any concessions, well, it's because you're a penny ante player, not because you're morally inferior or anything.
Well, it's like the Dragonlance. The Dragonlance lawsuit has been voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. I had some comments asking why it was without prejudice. Usually it would be with prejudice with the dismissal. And it's like, well,
the deal's not finalized.
Yeah, that's the big thing. This is,
and they'll deal with it contractually.
Yeah. Well,
in the contract, it'll say we waive all claims, and that'll have the legal effect of a dismissal with prejudice. So,
and the other thing I was thinking is, if the result is going back to performance of the terms of the contract, then you wouldn't waive it with you wouldn't want to dismiss it with prejudice anyway.
No, because you want to,
Right. So if you're renegotiating a new contract with entirely new terms, then sure, you can dismiss with prejudice if you want, or you can deal with it in contract or whatever. But to have the flexibility to just perform under the existing contract, if you dismiss with prejudice, then you get rid of all of the claims you may have had leading up to that moment under the contract. And if they just go ahead and refuse to perform again in a month, you may be foreclosing your ability to have a lawsuit in the first place. And that
you're absolutely right. In fact, I remember my tech company that I'm chairman of the board of and an investor in, that you even have a small piece of indirectly.
Yeah. Sell it.
I know. No kidding.
Sell it immediately.
Okay.
IPO
one of your uncles keeps wanting you to tell him when he can buy his yacht. And I keep telling him, well, in the fullness of time, as things develop, blah, blah, blah. But no, we got sued by the wrong company. I'm sorry, we got sued by a company. We had a very similar, almost identical name to the people they were actually trying to sue.
Oh, sure.
Well, the problem, and they sued us in the Eastern District of Texas, which at that time was where you went to if you were an intellectual property law plaintiff. You wanted to sue in the Eastern District because it was IP plaintiff friendly and it was very sophisticated, yada yada yada. So I called them, and the law firm was out of Manhattan. And the problem was, it wasn't so much that they had sued us, right? Because we clearly were not the company they were looking for. We were in the middle of a funding round. In other words, we were getting investment capital to stay in business. And all of a sudden we get this lawsuit alleging millions and millions of dollars of damage. That thing had to be quashed immediately. And I got on the phone with their attorneys in Manhattan, and we went back and forth, but the bottom line was that was a key part of my argument was, I said, you sued the wrong company. Here's enough evidence that I can give you just over the phone to tell you that you ought to be able to, ascertain that I'm not full of crap. But what I need you to do is dismiss it without prejudice. That way, if I'm lying, you can sue us. You can refile the suit.
Right.
But we need the suit gone within 24 hours, or I'm coming after you, the law firm, and your client, because you're hurting us. And
Right.
they got kind of pissy, and that ultimately broke it open when I said, tell me why you can't dismiss this suit without prejudice. If I'm truly lying to you, you can find out within a week and resue me a week from now. Long pause. Well, that may be true, but I said, no, there is no but.
Yeah, that's just true.
You're screwing with us. I've done nothing to you, and I'm about to sue your law firm and report you to your state bar association. Because if you're going to put this company out of business, I might as well try to take your head off if I can. And they ultimately dropped the suit.
Yeah.
It was one of those great things, right? They're like, we'll have to talk to our client, but I don't think they're going to be a minimum. I said, fine, then tell me if you're going to accept service. Well, I didn't hear back from them, but the suit got dismissed.
Right, yeah. August Stevenson.
But that's the thing,
August Stevenson says, August Stevenson says, we're not the company you need to sue.
That's right.
We're not the company you're looking for.
I actually said to him when I called him, I said, "We're not the tango you're looking for." I did actually say that on the phone.
Well played.
I thought the thing is, it was amusing because it was another company with the name Tango, and they were in the it was an honest mistake.
Yeah.
It was sloppy, but it was an honest mistake. And as long as they dismissed it, it wasn't anything more than an annoyance because, it was just a phone call. But when they, of course, it's Manhattan and, they're dealing with some redneck lawyer out of East Texas they've never heard of.
Yeah, here you go. They're like sitting around. They're like, hey, boys, what are we going to do today? And, hey, man, you need to drop that lawsuit you filed.
Yeah,
I need y'all to get rid of that right quick.
Yeah, that dog ain't going to hunt.
We ain't Tango, we Tango Incorporated. You're looking for Tango LLC. What in the hell you doing?
It was almost like that, actually. And again, we were telecommunications software. The other company was a telecommunications service provider. So it really was an honest mistake.
You ever heard of Joe Jamail? Well, I make him look like a Boy Scout. I'll come up there and kick your ass myself. I'll throw you right off that damn high-rise building.
You got there, yeah. He graduated from my law. It was really funny though. So in that particular matter, the law firm was a pretty prestigious Manhattan firm, and so we had a board meeting the next week or the week after that. I don't remember exactly when, but it was and our board members, one of them is from New York, and others from Maryland. And we had and so the CEO says, and I want to say that I really appreciate Ty because he handled it. He got it. We got sued on a Wednesday, and by Friday afternoon the suit was dismissed, and and it didn't cost us. He didn't charge us, and And the New York boardroom leans over and goes, "How did you do that? I know those bastards." I said, Gene, I just called them and asked them very nicely to dismiss the suit, and they did.
I sent him a bunch of pictures of my guns.
He said, he leaned back, and he goes, "How much does it cost to send a dead fish from Tyler, Texas to New York?" I said, I don't know what you're talking about. It was just the most cordial thing. It was all I did was have your grandmother actually, when we had an investors update, they mentioned that to the investors. And your grandmother asked me the same question. I gave her the same answer. She said, "Yeah, I bet." But yeah.
Yeah, I can hear her say it.
So I was,
Arctic Pride says, "Merry Christmas from the subarctic." Ty, you went south as I went north to see family. Hope that freezing temps in the 60s aren't too miserable for you. Best wishes to all of your family.
No, that's not. Oh no, you don't have to be that guy. Actually, it really was a lot colder. What they probably did was looked up the weather on the Weather Channel, because the Weather Channel told me that it was going to be 60 degrees tonight, and it may be now. I haven't been outside, but this morning it was freaking cold. Now, like I said, the wind was blowing hard, and when it's coming off the ocean, it often does get really cold. But
All right.
Still, it's better. It's better than Broken Bow usually is.
I've been waiting to get to this one. This is a big chat from Superstitious Oblivious B, and thank you so much. He says, "Merry Christmas, Nick." So Merry Christmas back to you, Superstitious Oblivious B. Much appreciated.
Merry Christmas, Nick.
Yeah, you too, man. Sakaki Onsai says, "Merry Christmas, Nick and Ty. I just want to say thank you to both of you for what you do and how you do it. I'm hoping that 2021 is a little lighter in the content as far as subject matter instead of the 2020 crud hashtag Christmas." Well, there won't be an election.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead. I was being yelled at by my support people.
I was just saying there won't be an election, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Yeah. Even I had to basically say, I guess it was yesterday, okay, I'm not talking about politics anymore for a while. Yeah. I'm done.
Hey, Oblivious B, tag me with a comment in the chat so I can just do it. Just tag me with any comment. Not a super chat. Just tag me so I can see your name.
Can I shoehorn something into your stream that came from Brianna's Twitch thingy?
Yes.
Yeah, someone had asked her to ask me to do my impression of Kirk saying "con," and we meant to do it. We do it. So if I could do it on your show now, that would be good. Is that agreeable?
Of course.
Okay. Here it goes. Con. Okay. Now I didn't yell it as loud as I could have because there are other people in the house upstairs.
Yeah, I guess.
So there you go. Yeah.
I guess. Well done. Well done. Okay. Bad Vibe says contractors are very much like lawyers and for the same reasons. He also says, "Ty, I have something in my eye."
Be nice.
He says, "Ty, quote, I have something in my eye." Yeah, Ty, it's Nick's nose. Rude.
Oh.
Rude.
Oh
my goodness.
Tough crowd, man. Tough crowd.
Blaze Storm says, "Hey Nick, wanting to wish you happy holidays, and today is my birthday. Thanks for providing us with laughs." Hey, happy birthday, Blaze Storms. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You know what
that must suck to have your birthday like right around Christmas because a bunch of cheesy people when he was a kid gave him just one present.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of which,
it could leave you bitter, I would think.
We need to say Merry Christmas to Central Time. Merry Christmas to the Central Time Zone.
Yep. I do like Christmas. It is one of my favorite holidays. I guess it's probably actually is my favorite.
Mine's Thanksgiving.
Huh. In what way? I mean, I'm just curious why.
Good Lord, did you see that, chat? Did you see the disdain for Thanksgiving that I received right there? That was rude, I thought. A little much.
There's a lack of love for Thanksgiving. I like Thanksgiving just fine.
You're just like, huh. Wonder why.
Oh, from me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Crap, man.
Goodness
I was looking
gracious.
over the chat. So I don't see anything. Yeah.
No.
Well, no, I mean, each to his own and blah, blah, blah. Just, Thanksgiving's.
Okay, I don't know. Something about Thanksgiving. I like getting. I think I always had really good memories of Thanksgiving. We would, when I was younger, we would go. I don't really remember Texas Thanksgivings that much, except when we were, when we would go with family. That's fine. There's that. But when we lived in Minnesota and we stayed in Minnesota, there were some friends of my dad's because my dad worked for Cray and Cray moved us to Minnesota from Houston, and then one of his friends' wives also worked for Cray, and they eventually moved them up to Minnesota as well. A couple years after we moved, and we would go to their house like every year, and and that probably from when I was about 13, 14 years old, and we would go there, and it was always just such a good time. I don't know, we just got together and ate. There wasn't anything special about it. It was just like that.
That's true. There's no pressure on Thanksgiving. I mean, seriously, you get together and you eat and you watch football in the afternoons.
Yeah, and see that was the thing. My dad and his friend Steve, who passed away several years ago, But I mean, I have very fond memories of Steve because when I was a little kid, you can't do this anymore. But when I was a little kid, you know, I learned to pour beer out of a keg into a cup because my dad would do like poker nights with his friends, and so you know you had to run and get people beer. Like you had to.
Yeah, you were the bartender basically.
Right. This is an essential skill for an 8-year-old or whatever. So I would.
Well, see, that was the erosion of the process, Nick, because when I was that age, I not only had to bring them the beer, but I was allowed to have a sip of the beer.
Yes. Oh, no. Me too. Me too.
Are they still doing beer sips? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still doing beer
sips. Yeah, that's
sips.
something that we get CPS called on you now. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so that's when I learned that you have to pour the beer onto the side of the cup to reduce the foam because
the foam. Yeah.
Because Steve asked me for a beer and I went and I got one. Usually I would just get him a can, right? But someone had brought, or my dad had gotten a little keg of beer. And so I did the thing and I brought it over to him and he's like, "What the hell is this?" Cause it was like 80% foam. Right. And he's like, "This is terrible." And it was said in the nicest way, but it was
sure. We got to teach this boy how to do it right.
Right. It was a criticism of a child's ability to pour beer. But
well, suddenly it all becomes more sensical now as to why you would have such fond memories.
Right. And so then that was actually while we were still in Houston. And then, so then when they moved up to Minnesota and we would go, every year we'd either go to their house or they'd come to ours. And then they would go watch football. I never really cared about the football game. I would usually eat too much pie and too much turkey. And then I'd just fall asleep on a couch. And then...
yeah. What is that, tryptophan or what is that the neurotransmitter that turkey's got that just like...
They say that, but it's actually like you would have to eat like 3 turkeys or something, like whole ones to have
probably
enough.
All the carbohydrates in the dressing.
It's all of the food that your body has to pull the blood away from the rest of it to digest. Like, dear God, we're in crisis mode. It's just overeating. But
we're having a. Well, that makes sense. Christmas for me was a very binary kind of process. If it was at home with my father, it was horrible. But as I was growing up, roughly half of the Christmases that I spent were spent at my grandparents' house in Louisiana, and those were Cleaver family. Those were like perfect Christmases.
Yeah.
So, but once I had once I had children, obviously it became. We had nothing but fun. Although I do remember the year that Brianna came to me. When you're a first time father, you have all these traumatic incidents that later you just kind of go, "Oh, come on, you were kind of a puss about that." But do you remember the first time your child asked you if Santa Claus is real? And you're
no, because we never did it.
Yeah, and in hindsight, I'm kind of leaning towards I wish we hadn't either. But that was not as big that was still a pretty questionable thing to do in the early 90s, or mid 90s. But yeah, when Brianna finally came to me, but I always said I'm not going to lie to her. I'm just So she just came to me and said, "Is there?" I said, "No, honey, there's not." And she goes, "I thought not." You're talking to a 5-year-old girl. You've been weighed, measured, and found wanting.
The worst was
no wonder the adults wanted me to go to bed so early every night. I'm just going, "Oh, honey, come on, it was just fun," But yeah, but that was traumatizing. I mean. But I like Christmas because as an adult and as a father, we've always had very good family Christmases. So.
She says, she's in the chat, she says, "I was lying to cover my sadness."
Oh, great. Thanks, honey. Don't make me feel terrible.
Well, the hard part for us was we never did the Christmas thing, right? And the Santa thing with our kids, we never did. We decided we just weren't gonna do that. The lie seemed a little bit weird. It was like but no criticism to anybody else. It was just for us. And what we had the problem was when our kids started interacting with other kids, right?
Oh shit!
And then
it started.
No, you have to
the other kids
entertain their myth.
You have to go along with the lie.
Just do it. Just don't say anything. He's like, but they're wrong. Santa's not real. It's like, shh. Don't tell him the CIA will come and get you. You have to stop them.
And you have to, right. And don't you have to admire the irony, though, of your child saying, I'm going to tell them that they're wrong, damn it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain poetic justice there, isn't there?
They're like, no, compromise your values.
If I had it to do all over again, I don't think I would do it, because it really is kind of one of those things, right? I mean, you have to sit there and fess up to your child that you were lying, and it is disappointing to them. It doesn't scar anybody for life or any of that kind of stuff. And I mean, I survived. I found out there was no Christmas as I stumbled across the treasure trove.
Yeah, me too.
About a couple of weeks before Christmas, I found the closet where all the loot was.
My older sibling ruined it for me, and when they realized what had happened, they went, "Oh."
Yeah. But when you're a parent, though, there's all those odd little things that at the time seem so important. It's like,
right.
Okay, I'm pretty sure my daughter got over that. I'm pretty sure I did too, but
nope, she didn't.
But
now you know that.
Apparently not. No. Yeah, I'm going to have some more payments to make on that. But what was your favorite Christmas present you ever got as a kid? I mean, the most favorite present.
I don't know. I mean,
really?
I can think of some big ones that I remember, so that tells me that they're important and they're big. I remember getting a bike, that didn't have training wheels on it or anything. It was a decent bike. That was cool. I remembered getting an electronic football game. Not the one with the vibrating top, not that one, but the next gen with like the 1-bit graphics. Yeah, that one. But it was like a big thing. It wasn't like a little Tiger handheld, right? It was like a big thing that had some complexity to it. So I remember that. Okay. I mean, I can't remember. Oh, I remember this. My dad and mom asked my older sibling and I what we wanted for Christmas, which they're like, we're going to get you a video game system. What do you want? And I remember this conversation. It was, what about a Nintendo? And then my older sibling says, ooh, or a Sega. Yeah, that'd be awesome. A Sega Master System, right? And we're like, yeah.
No.
And my dad comes home with an Atari XE.
Of course.
And it's like, wait, what is this? I mean, I love that thing. I played it all the time. And I wish some of the games that would always glitch out and bug up on it, like I wish I could find them now and see how terrible they were. But it was like, what the heck is this thing?
Now the XE was that the?
It was like a computer. You could code.
Was that the successor to the 5200? Was that the 5200 successor?
I couldn't tell you.
The 2600 was the original Atari cartridge system of the late 70s. And then the 5200 came out like in 82 or 83. And it was essentially the Atari 600, 800 computer just stuffed into a video game package. And then I think they did retool that thing and create basically, I thought you were younger than that actually, but oh well. Anyway.
The Atari XE was released in 1987.
Yeah.
It was technically an 8-bit. It was the predecessor. Its predecessor was the 7800, and its successor was the canceled Atari Panther.
Yeah, the 7800 was probably the souped up 5600.
Yeah, this
Would be
was
my guess.
apparently
200. Excuse me.
the XE was the last system they made before the Atari Jaguar, which came out, in the 90s. So,
Yeah.
So it was something. It was something, and
Yeah.
we had no idea what that something was. It's just like,
Well, it's okay because my parents got me. You guys want an obscure system? Of course, when I was young and wanted a video game, it was the Atari 2600. That's what everybody had. That's what everybody wanted. My parents got me a ColecoVision for Christmas one year.
ooh,
So the ColecoVision was a triangular looking chassis, right?
yeah,
It had a race car wheel on one. It had a cheesy cowboy gun on the other.
yes.
You should screen. And the third one had Pong controls built into it. And then the cartridges were triangular shape that stuck down in the middle. I think they were silver, if I recall right.
Oh God.
Totally cheesy. I mean, beyond cheesy. And very much the same thing. I opened it up and I heard the sad trombone. Wah, wah, Exactly. That was not. I don't know if that was the most disappointing present, but it was pretty. I had two presents that would qualify as favorites, and I truly can't tell you which one was better. The first was when I was in third grade, and it was a gigantic MARX toy soldier battlefield set. I mean, it had hard plastic bunkers, it had tanks, it had landing craft, it had a beautiful 88 millimeter flak gun, hordes and hordes of Germans, barbed wire, little plastic mines. I mean, it was just insane how much crap was in that thing. The tank traps actually were hard plastic, and they were spiked up. And my dad impaled his foot on those a few times, so they actually worked like real tank traps.
They were like Legos then.
Worse, actually, believe it, because they actually were shaped like real world tank traps, and they were hard plastic. So. So that was one that was beyond awesome, and the extra gear that came with it that Christmas was awesome too, because I got like a GI helmet and a Tommy gun and a complete web kit with pistol and grenades and all the stuff that you could never give a kid today probably. That was one, and then a few years later I got a book called the Starfleet Technical Manual.
Oh,
it was the first of the. Well, it was the first expanded universe kind of book that treated the Star Trek universe as though it were real, by a guy named Franz Joseph, and it had blueprints of the starships and diagrams of the inside and all this kind of stuff, and it was all written as though Star Trek were actually real. And every serious Star Trek fan of the mid 1970s will remember that book with a certain degree of pride. But those are my two favorites.
nerd.
Yeah, Brianna and I were talking at one point. She said that one way that she could explain me to people was say, well, Red Foreman if he liked games in Star Trek.
Yeah.
If you ever watched that 70s show, Red Foreman.
Yeah,
the dad.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought I was flattered beyond all belief.
Well, let me say happy birthday to Blaze Storms.
Blaze Storm, happy birthday.
It is it's always rough having a birthday right by Christmas, but happy birthday to you. William Hastings says, bummed about Zach. I was really hoping for some kind of precedent. Well, there wouldn't be a precedent most likely, but it just keeps not happening. Thank you both for all you're doing for Zach and Vic too. He's hard at work on my book. Audiobook will be out in the new year. Oh, is that Vic? Is Vic working on your audiobook, William Hastings? That's cool. Yeah, Zach is
he's very talented at that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I need to listen to one of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got, he can do all, he's a voice actor, right?
I mean, allegedly.
So he can do all the voices. Well, yeah.
I've never heard him do anything other than, well, hi, I'm Vic Mignogna. How are you? I love you guys so much. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. No, I'm just kidding. I only do the Vic voice in love.
Yeah, when they show up with torches and pitchforks, you know, you'll know what happened.
But no, so he's talking about there's another lawsuit that I covered on the channel, and actually may have had its genesis on the channel in some way. It was the comic book lawsuit. I think I told you about it.
Oh, is it the Wade
Meyer versus Wade?
Mark
Yeah.
Wade? Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened in it?
Voluntarily dismissed, mutual settlement with mutual cost, non-disclosure agreement. Very sort of a typical fizzle out, but people are pretty mad because some people, I don't know, are pretty mad because
no, don't be mad, guys. You know, that means they settled it, and it could very well mean that your guy won very well. I mean, here's the thing: nobody's going to write you a big check unless you agree to sign an NDA, unless you agree to drop the suit. I mean, you know.
Yeah, and it's it's hard to say. We'll never know what happened because of the NDA, but people wanted this to go through the court system, and they wanted a judgment. But it's been 2 years, and all they've got is the jurisdiction. Well, that's it. That's the only thing that's happened in 2 years.
Yeah.
So
the problem is that, you know, the legal system, the vast majority of lawsuits settle.
Yeah.
And, you know, they settle because the legal system itself is expensive and burdensome. You know, and that's actually a feature of the legal system, not a bug. Because the goal of the legal system is to resolve disputes, short of gunfire. It isn't to produce the truth. It isn't to produce justice, although we hope for an equitable legal system, and we most of the time get something like that. But no, it could very well be that your guy completely won out. I think that's probably more likely than that the other side won, based on what what you told me about the case.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other problem that became apparent with the case is the court found that it didn't have jurisdiction over the online defamation claims, only the in-person or the defamatory statements that were made in the state of Texas while he was physically there. And so that really reduced the thing. So then you're left with TI. And TI is a great claim, except for the fact that you're really limited to actual damages. And actual damages in this case were going to be hard to show above about maybe 50 grand. And you're 150K deep in a lawsuit, and you're looking at 50 grand in damages. It's like, oh.
Yeah, the economics often weigh on those kinds of cases. And the deal is this: economic damages, you can quite easily and accurately say that there are economic damages in the case. It's the how much that becomes extremely difficult to prove because it's speculative.
Right.
You know, and yes, in theory, you know, you put an expert up on the stand who says, in my expert opinion, the damages were equal to this. Well, based on what? And, you know, and just as a practical matter, those are very challenging to prove. But I don't think that the proper interpretation is that your guy lost. You obviously don't have enough information to conclude that, but
yeah,
you know, the thing about it is
I think he won generally because
sure.
since doing that, I think he's done over $1 million in crowdfunded comics after the lawsuit. And at the time he filed the lawsuit, it looked like he was going to be basically unpublishable. Now he's worked with, I mean, he did the Expendables comic with Sylvester Stallone. So like, he's clearly not unpublishable. And that was kind of the problem for the lawsuit as well, is how do you show damage when your career became more successful afterwards?
Yeah. Yes, I understand the problem with that argument. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? And the bastard that did it didn't get away with it.
Yeah.
Right. No matter what else. The guy that picked up the phone and for no reason, just other than just out of this fact that he didn't like somebody, tried to ruin a guy's ability to make a living, he failed. You know,
yeah.
He didn't get away with it. that in itself is a victory.
It is.
You know, when,
It is.
when you know, I mean, we said, you know, we said this in the victories, and this was not me trying to, you know,
Cope.
salvage a bad case or anything. It's a simple fact. Yeah, simple fact. The people that tried to destroy Vic tried to destroy him. That was their primary goal. They failed.
Yeah.
Now, they hurt him badly. They didn't kill him. And, you know, and so to the extent that their goal was to ruin him, they failed.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything wrong with pointing that out. You know, no matter whatever happens in this case, you know.
I've seen Siren Jag pointed out that a lot of people just wanted public retractions from Mark Wade. One, you weren't going to get a public retraction from Mark Wade outside of a very rare, only a certain type of settlement would have had that happen, and that was unlikely. But even if Zach went and won the case entirely in court, you wouldn't get a retraction from Mark Wade. The court can't make him do it.
You have a court saying that they believe he did it.
Yeah.
You have a jury saying we believe that he did it. Well, and as we've seen with fanatics of every stripe, right? Do you think merely because a court says that you know, this guy is guilty, do you think his supporters actually go, oh well, if the court says it, it must be true? Of course not. You know, they're fanatics. They're not going to, you know. Anyway, but right. You know, most cases settle, folks.
They do.
And by most, I mean something like 95%. But here's the thing. They're settling and they're settling. You know, the fact that the victim in that case didn't get destroyed, that's a huge victory, because they're accustomed to doing that. The other side's accustomed to ruining people just gratuitously. And I will bet that shithead will think twice before he'll do that to somebody else again.
Well, I mean, in 2 years, they haven't really effectively done it to anybody else over comics, right? The comics people haven't. I mean, other people have been canceled for sure, but in the comics industry, they haven't really effectively canceled anybody. So
I think that will be the effect of these fights on a per industry basis.
Yeah.
Is that once somebody in a particular industry actually gets his ass dragged into court, no matter what happens. Oh, because the people that are trying to ruin other people's lives aren't really very interested in actually paying any price for that.
Right.
You know, none of them are saying, I'm willing to spend my own money and ruin my career possibly to take down this politically incorrect bastard that I disagree with.
No, they do it because
they think they can get away with it.
Right. It's expedient and easy to make some throwaway tweets and have that go to work and ruin someone's life. Well,
and up until they get their butts dragged into court, there's no cost for them. Well, once you see somebody dragged into a lawsuit for a year or 2 years, you know, now the bad guy in that case, hell, the bad guys in the Vic case, they didn't win. Now there are varying degrees of victory. Right. Very definitely. You know, and personally, I want the highest degree of victory I can get, but I don't think that I don't actually think you can argue that when somebody sets out to destroy another person on a cost-free basis and they fail to do that and it winds up costing them a ton of money and time, you can't say they won. Not with straight face.
Okay, Sixth Floor Madness says, very important question that I've asked before, so I've altered it. This is for you, Ty. Are you ready? Are you ready for this question?
No.
Your wife and Nick have switched.
Whether I am or not, you've been more than fair.
Your wife and Nick have switched bodies. The only way to change them back is for you to smash one of them. What do you do?
Where is that whiskey? You know, I don't know there's an answer for that, really.
Oh.
How do you people come up with this? I mean, it's like, what could I say in a chat that would make Ty the most uncomfortable that is possible to be? Well, Yeah, I won't say that's the most uncomfortable, but that's got to be in the top 5%.
It's close. It's
Gotta
close.
be. Yeah.
Okay. Bad Vibes says
It's Christmas, man. Can't you get into the spirit?
Mario Carter says the answer is my wife and Nick's body. Then there's no way to do it. No, I was posed the same question. I would not have subjected you to the question if I had not already answered it in a different context. Yes, I would have obviously done.
Right.
So no, I chose. It was Drexel
Yeah.
and my wife, and I said I would pick my wife's body because I would revel in the emotional trauma that Drexel would suffer from that. So that's what I went with.
Well, you see, Nick, you're just yeah.
I'm a giver.
You're just better at that.
I'm a giver of emotional trauma.
Yes. So somewhere Drexel just went Twitch.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Bad. He was on the show.
How's Drexel doing, by the way?
He's great. He's got
how's he doing, by the way?
He's got his own show now.
Oh, does he? I'll have to.
Yeah. You should just.
Hell, I didn't even have an opportunity to watch your show very much, Nick.
Just play Drexel's podcast in the car on the drive from Corpus back to Tyler. That would be great with the family listening.
My daughters and everything. Yeah.
It's the.
I'll put that on the recommendation list there.
It's
Nick.
the 12 Days of Thoughtmas. It's 12.
Of course it is.
It's 12 days, 12 stories that have never been. He's never told publicly on a show before of
my goodness,
of crazy stuff. So
does he have a regular time or?
No, well, I mean his are. He doesn't do them live, so they're just uploads for now. But he's been uploading one a day for the past 12 days or whatever, and it culminates with the first day of Thoughtmas, which is the Thad's story. Thad's is some sort of club in Los Angeles area, and whatever happened at that story gave him ED for 11 months. And I don't even know.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know what it is. I have an idea of what it is, but I don't actually know the story. I've never heard it, so.
My brain rebels at even going there.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, if you see Drexel, tell him I said, hey, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I'll see him. I think. Shoot, I think
I'll
he's
shoot him a
coming out.
message too, and
I think he's coming out on Saturday to hang out. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he'll be around for just after Christmas, but yeah, I'll tell him you said what's up. Okay. Bad Vibe says, yeah, Nick loves food. Thanksgiving is obviously his favorite because least hassle compared to Christmas. Look, I love Thanksgiving food in particular. I love turkey. I don't know why. I don't think it's the turkey. I think
really.
it's
so
about...
you like the Brianna's young man's family has invited us for Thanksgiving the last couple of years, and we really enjoy them, and they seem to like us and everything. But they cook turkey in a turkey cooker thingy where the turkey is like really moist and not dry at all.
Like just one of those big turkey.
Maybe?
Oh, an air fryer.
It's a big container thingy.
I mean,
I don't know. Anyway,
I used a turkey roaster. It was a self-enclosed turkey roaster. Like it was,
that may be what it is. I'm probably hashing the hell out of this. Anyway, but the main thing was the turkey was very moist. It wasn't dry.
I've never made a dry turkey in my life anyway.
The white meat particularly. Oh, okay, well.
It's just a matter of
smell you.
Look, I don't know. I very carefully and closely monitor my turkey while I cook it. Like that's what, if I'm cooking a turkey, I'm going to bring you a good bird because that's what I'm going to be doing all day is cooking that bird, and I'm going to be basting it, and it's going to be magnificent.
I've been very ambivalent towards turkey, although I have enjoyed their turkey, and yours would probably be comparable too. I mean, so I think my opinion of turkey is when it's cooked right, it's okay, but most people don't cook it right.
Oh, I smoked mine this year. It was really good, really good.
Oh yeah, who's the people that do the smoked turkeys in Texas? Oh crap,
Greenberg or something.
For several. Yes. I didn't get any this year. Usually,
You know
most
why,
years,
right?
somebody will send me one of those. No,
Well, probably
they burn
Mike.
down or.
Mike probably sends them to you normally, but yeah, they had a fire.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, like 2 million turkeys
That would explain it.
got
Yeah.
overcooked, so to speak.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those were dry.
Yeah.
Those were pretty good because the smoked thing was really tasty. But
yeah,
I like dressing. I'm a big dressing fan. I do like
see, I don't like dressing
but,
at all. I like turkey. I like mashed potatoes. I make the turkey gravy. Mashed potatoes and turkey are all I actually care about on Thanksgiving. That's it. Everything else is bonus, but I don't really care for stuffing.
Yeah.
I do like a good green bean casserole. But it has to be a good one.
Yeah. Very, yeah. If it's really good, I agree. But yeah, I remember in the Christmas Story, the father, he was a turkey fanatic, and the Bumpus hounds came in and and destroyed the turkey. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. I also remember the Christmas Vacation turkey. He punctures the skin and just goes, it's like the opening of a mummy. And they're all dipping it in their wine and like chewing it up like jerky.
Some of the turkey I had as a kid would
yeah.
That scene came from the heart from somebody. Yeah,
that movie came from the heart of somebody. That movie's great. That's a great Christmas movie. It really is.
Yes. All the Vacation movies did. I mean, the original Vacation was, anybody that's ever been on an extended family road trip, watched that movie and just went, oh yeah, I remember when something like that happened. Except for Christy Brinkley driving up. That was a bit of it. Actually, did we ever determine if Christy Brinkley actually was did she really exist, or was that just an imaginatory figure of his?
I mean, I thought you meant the real Christy Brinkley, and I was like,
no,
she's
pretty sure she existed.
I mean, maybe, maybe she did.
Although the Billy Joel thing does cause one to have reasonable doubt, but in that movie though, was she a figment of his imagination, or did she actually exist?
I think she was real. But I think obviously the Hawaiian chick was a hallucination in Family Vacation.
Yeah.
But yeah. Ooh, Christy Brinkley. My first crush, no lie, as a kid. Even as a child, I recognized the beauty of Christy Brinkley.
There were, during the 80s were a great decade for any number of reasons, but the 80s were when the supermodels really arrived. I mean, when they became a thing. And that first crop of supermodels were just some absolutely stunning women. Kathy Ireland,
gorgeous.
Holy moly. Christy Brinkley, of course. Paulina Poroskova, she married the guy with the cars, Rick Ocasek. But yeah, I mean,
Ty's out here rattling off 80s supermodels. Well, listen, you sound like Drexel talking about porn stars.
Hey, you say potato, I say potato. I was by any of that. Well, listen, remember in the 80s, you didn't have the internet.
No,
right?
yeah, no. So you had to wait for whatever thing they were published into, either like a Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, or you'd see them on a movie or something. And what the 80s and 90s did, something that I really like, and I think I don't know how they could even do this comparably now, but the Playmate of the Month would show up in an action movie, right? She was was just in there. That's what I loved. Bulletproof with Gary Busey, one of the greatest military movies of all time. That look on your face is exactly why I said that.
Yep. Under Siege. You remember that had Erica Eleniak.
Yep.
Yeah, another just like jaw dropping.
But they used to do that, and now, Playboy's like a whole different place now. It's weird. Because didn't Dolly Parton pose for Playboy recently? Isn't that the thing?
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
I mean, I definitely wanted to see Mumra the Ever Living naked, but no, thank you. I didn't. Not gonna buy that episode.
No.
But
no,
yeah, like they stopped doing what they used to do.
I think the problem with Playboy is that number one, because I think Hef just basically banged too many playmates and his brain went south or something. But anyway, so the daughter takes over, and she took over at a time when Maxim magazine had come along. And there was a point at which they could have bought Maxim for, I don't know, some relatively insignificant amount of money. Within 2 or 3 years, Maxim had 10 or 20 times the subscription of Playboy.
Yeah.
And then as if that wasn't bad enough for them, then the internet came along. And of course, Hefner's daughter tried to turn it into an actual magazine. And it's like, I'm sorry, you do know that I read the articles was a joke.
Yeah.
that no heterosexual male alive ever bought Playboy to read the articles. That's just what we said.
So the chat is saying that Playboy is non-nude now. I think they dropped that and went back to doing nude. Because I think that was they tried it and it was terrible.
My question is, how do you even sell a product like that today with the internet?
Playboy?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing that I was talking about, that it's changed, because it used to be that Playboy would find these young models or whatever, and then they would literally expose them. That was the whole gimmick of it. Mm-hmm. But now, since OnlyFans exists or whatever, and Instagram and everything else, that's not their business. Now that what they have to do is they have to try and get some sort of celebrity into the book. Like that's the gimmick.
Who doesn't do it on Instagram?
Right, already. Exactly. They have to get.
And it's like, yeah. I mean, Playboy, but the thing is, Playboy wasn't killed by the internet. I mean, the internet finished it off, but no, it was killed actually, I think, by that very attitude. And this happened. God, what was it? I remember early '90s. Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition went on this kick for a while that they were going to emphasize, how'd they say it, the athleticism of the model of the suit of the swimsuit models. This kind of anyway. Long story short, all of a sudden we started getting pictures that were just not. I mean, there was a time when Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue would come out, and you just kind of go, and that was just the cover shot, right? It's like you just stop you cold. Anyway, yeah. But they stopped that, and again, what it was is they let women put women in charge of the magazines, and the women stopped shooting photographs that men wanted to see.
Right,
and that's fine, except that when your customer base is 95% male, Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars, they were like the original, people that did that. Well, Playboy did the same thing. Sports Illustrated kind of said, "Oh, holy crap, that hurt our numbers," and so they stopped it. But Hefner's daughter, I think, can rightly be blamed with a lot of it. But Playboy was going to be destroyed regardless. The internet was going to kill it one way or the other.
I just checked. Dolly is set. Dolly has expressed a desire to be. Oh no, she's doing it in January 2021. Will be Dolly Parton will be celebrating her 25th birthday on the 19th, and if she has her way, she could be gracing the pages of Playboy again.
75th, I think, is.
Did I say
her 75th birthday?
Did I say 25th?
You said 25th.
Look, yeah. Perpetually 25, I guess. 75th.
Oh, look, I mean, she was a stunning looking woman and all that, but does anybody really want to pay money to see that?
I would not want to see Dolly Parton naked ever.
No.
Even when she was young, I didn't want to see her naked. Like she's always
weird to me. I never found her to be that. That of course, remember now she was in the pre-silicon implant era. It was a lot of, Larry and I, you remember we had this conversation on one of the Chad Dad shows where Larry was talking about, but no, I mean, I never thought of her as classically beautiful or anything. I mean.
No, she looks a little weird to me.
Well, very talented music. You know, so it's funny. I just thinking out loud, strange things you do. I happened to be clicking on interwebs today, and I came across the a music video from the Mamas and the Papas, the song "California Dreamin'," which I like. It's a great song.
Yeah.
But I was watching that video, and I went, 3 of those 4 performers could never even get an audition today because they are at best average-looking people. Now, one of them was a pretty attractive lady. Was it Michelle Phillips? Is that who it was? Anyway, but 3 of the 4, and by the way, the 3 most talented of the 4 would not even get an audition today.
Yeah,
because they were basically average-looking people, but they were stunningly good musicians. So we're in a stranger universe than we've ever been to. You know.
Well, now you just have to be either a good musician and a good and good looking, or you have to be the child of someone who's connected in the industry.
Yeah. Or good looking, and you can be auto-tuned into something that that people will listen to.
Right.
You know.
Endless End 2646 says, "Greetings from my new home in Rockport, Texas." Hey, isn't that where you are?
That's where I am.
No plans for the holidays since we had family over last week. Is there anything to do around here? I basically sit around and drink bourbon with Dad these days. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Well, I went to Spanky's liquor store last night. So there's that.
That's pretty. That's pretty.
Well, and then went to the HEB across the street, which is very happening. That's a grocery store.
Yeah.
This is my first time I've been to Rockport. I've been down to Port Aransas, and in fact, we streamed one of your shows. I was on your show when I was in Port Aransas back October before last.
Yep.
So it's my first visit to Rockport. I didn't actually get out. I went to the Walmart today to get. When we thought you might be able to make the role playing game, we had to get splitters for the mics. And yeah.
Well, I apologize for not being able to make it.
It's all right. You will need to join us. I think you'd enjoy the game. We had a good time. It was a lot of fun. First time I've run a game on stream, by the way. I've never on interwebs. So.
Right. Bad Vibe says Ty Jax. I don't know if that's Ty Jax or Thank You Jax, one of the two. Asphyxiation. Oh wait, what? Sorry. What were you saying?
Thank
Ty?
you, Jax. Except who's Jack?
I don't know.
Okay, that's good. I thought it was me. I want to be sure.
Asphyxiation. Aspie says, "Merry Messiah Biological Canon launch day to you, sleazy Polish lawyer and Mr. Mustache. Long time no see. Have you eaten that Vegemite I sent you yet? No, I have not. If not, I demand you eat it on camera right now. Regards, godless heathen." It's not in my office.
What is Vegemite?
It's a weird spread of vegetable refuse created by Australians. It's the only thing that might be more poisonous than the fauna.
Oh, I saw the definitive. Well, I don't know if it's definitive, but anyway, I saw the greatest Australian newspaper headline of 2020. And it was snake-infested sea foam swamps Australian coast. I'm going, oh my God.
Yeah.
And just like that, I want to go to Australia.
It's
why would you play Call of Cthulhu when you could just go to Australia?
Right.
I mean,
it's beer yeast. Brewer's yeast, apparently.
Okay.
Someone said El Degusta says, "I broke a jar of Vegemite and it fossilized into stone."
Ouch.
Oh God. Yeah,
well,
no.
He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. So that's the classic lyric from Down Under.
Then send one of your 12 kids to fetch it for you. It's 1:30 in the morning. They're asleep. Alistair's Night asks for this in Kermit voice. "God bless us, everyone, even Ron, Monica, Jamie, and Funimation, because I hope the spirit of Christmas delivers unto them the most needed of gifts, a dose of reality from the appeals court. I know it's a long shot, but miracles can happen." So there you go. Yeah, we will see what happens. Vanta Blackberry Jim Says, I've said this before, but even though Wade settled with Zach, that still leaves AP still able to sue. To prove loss, AP could point to the money that Zach made from his funded comics. Problem is, I don't think Associated Press has any money at all. Or Antarctic Press, not Associated Press. I don't think Antarctic Press has any money. I think they're basically, you know, that's the dumbest thing about that company is that Jawbreakers was probably going to be the biggest book that they've printed in a decade, and would have maybe even reignited their absolute failure of financials. But instead they chose to cancel. They should have just told Mark Waid to get pissed. That's it.
Well, here's the thing. When you hire people who are going to put their political agenda, their bullshit political agenda over the profitability of your company, you deserve to be put out of business, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I feel that strongly about it. Nick, the thing is, people like you and me will never have this happen to us because the people who would try this would know. But I can only imagine if some little shithead associate came into my office and made some extravagant demand that I denounce something. First of all, any extravagant demand, period. But just I demand that you denounce capitalism, which would then have the effect of pissing off, say, 3 or 4 of our biggest clients. I would say, oh, you do. Give me 1 second. Yeah, send security right now. Thanks. Okay, get your shit, get out of my office. I mean, there would not be any warning. There would not be any write-ups. There would not be any, let me reason with you and explain to you. No, you've demanded that I put my company out of business. Therefore, you're gone. And if businesses would do that, there'd be, the shit would be over instantly. But the problem is a lot of these businesses have become almost, not monopolies precisely, but they are so insulated and so lacking in actual competition that they can indulge these lunatics. Although, do you believe, Nick, I've heard Doomcock say that Disney is rethinking the whole wokeness thing. Do you believe that? No. I hope he's right. I truly do, but I don't know that I see any great evidence of that. It's the fact that Kathleen Kennedy still has any involvement in Star Wars whatsoever, to me, argues very strongly against them actually doing anything. If I were to buy Disney, she would be literally the very first person I would fire. Oh yeah. I mean, it would be. In fact, I would do it one step further. The guy that sold the Dallas Cowboys to Jerry Jones hated Tom Landry so much that made Landry's termination a condition of the sale. Right. In other words, I won't sell the Dallas Cowboys to you unless you agree contractually to fire Tom Landry and not rehire him. You really got to hate somebody. No, I don't see that at all. I don't see any reason. I don't see any reason for them to do it. Yeah. Either. I mean, logically, I think they should. I think it's better for the franchises, but I don't see anything that would indicate to them that they should, which is a different proposition. Yeah, I think the problem is even if the franchises are destroyed, it simply isn't going to matter to them because they'll just find some other excuse for why it was destroyed and had nothing to do with any of that. So I mean, it just The big red bear says, "Merry Christmas. Britain is finally leaving the EU. Actually, good. Trump is leaving the White House and being replaced by the biggest Brezhnev I've ever seen, and the coronavirus is mutating. 2021 is going to be a great year." Listen, you're not supposed to come in here for that. Brezhnev is actually the best case scenario. I think we're looking more at Chernyenko or Andropov. Well. We'll see. Well, he might drop off this earth and let Kamala Harris in next. Well, yeah. So, all right. Next, Bad Vibe says, Nick, I don't like dressing. Most Twitch thoughts don't. They like undressing. He says, I was talking about the tank trap, the overgrown jack. Oh, when he said tie jacks, like the tank traps. A caltrop is like a jack, like the game jacks. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, They would impale the feet of adults with insane competency.
uh,
I actually looked on eBay for that set one time and found it, and it was some insane amount of money. I suppose one of these days I'll probably have to buy it regardless. It's
Sixth Floor Madness.
I'll just go ahead and do it.
Says, Ty, if it makes you feel any better, when I asked Nick the body switch question, he said he'd smash Drexel in Lady Rackets' body. I think it's because Lady Rackets and Drexel's body would insist on being the pitcher.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah. So no thank you for that. No thank you. Well, man, it's getting late. It's 1:30.
Yeah.
I have more chats to go through.
Okay.
We've hit the big ones, but I wanted to make sure and point out this section of the show. I'm gonna run through the rest of them. If you have to go though, it is Christmas, so let me know.
I kind of do. I believe it or not, actually, my daughter's young men, both of them had to work today, so they drove down, and it looks like they're getting here right like now. So probably need to go say hello to them. But
Sure.
Merry Christmas, my friend.
Well, I'm gonna have do you have any drink left?
Just a little bit.
Well, let's do a quick.
Have a little bit.
We'll do a quick Merry Christmas to Mountain Time.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to Mountain Time. Salute.
And Merry Christmas to you, my friend.
And to you too, sir. Y'all have a good one and stream. Merry Christmas to you guys. May y'all have a great next year too.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We'll see you.
Talk to you soon.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Well,
Watch him try to end it. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to switch the camera over to this thing. So this will be weird for just a moment until I get the webcam switched back. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay. Woo. Well, that was fun having Ty on the show. Always great to have him. Truly a good friend. And yeah, with that, I guess I'm going to go ahead and run through the rest of the chats. You guys who do leave for these, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, thanks a bunch for this past year. I hope that Christmas treats you well. I hope that you do find some comfort with friends or a loved one in some way, and get away from the nonsense that's going on. In 2020, it's been an absolute AIDS-riddled mess. The cancer AIDS has hit 2020. But I am looking forward to 2021. I think it'll be a better year. I hope it'll be a better year. Shadows King 101, I think I'll be doing Twitch still. I think I'll be doing some Twitch. But I think it's a movie night tonight. So, we'll see. We'll see. We got to get out of this show. And I got to make sure that Lady Rackets isn't running around crazy. But, see, hold on. Let me check my messages and just make sure nothing is, going on. I don't have any panicked messages, so that's good things. If you guys, we were talking about Meyer versus Wade a little bit, and I wanted to let people know, if you didn't see it, you guys probably all did, which is great. But if you didn't see it, I did do a video on Meyer versus Wade today. I did a very thorough 30-minute long breakdown of the whole case, start to finish, and my opinions on it. I mean, I didn't really delve in deep into the legal issues, but just a general overall, I called it a postmortem, right? The case is over. This is the reflection on it. And I thought it was a pretty good video. And it kind of comprises all of my thoughts on it. So if you haven't seen it, check it out if that's a case you care about. If you do see it and you know there's some other people who care about it, give it a share, send it to them or whatever. And that would be wonderful. Hey, Uncivil Law says, Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Hey, and a Happy New Year. Hey, Merry Christmas to you too, buddy. We need to chat very soon. Have a nice hangout. I'll let you know when I've got some time coming up. And yeah, we should do a show and assess what's going on in this wild world. And we got to talk about this Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red getting sued by their investors. It's actually happening in U.S. courts. I thought, they said it might happen in U.S. court, but it looked like a Polish guy was going to sue them in Poland, and that would have been, uncoverable by me. Like, I don't know anything about Polish law, but we'll see. Now that we've got CD Projekt Red getting sued by investors in L.A., which I think is a terrible plan. A terrible plan. If you're mad about your stock loss on your company, having the investors get together and sue the company isn't likely to do great for the stock. It'll probably prolong any sort of downtrend and prevent any rebound. So that would be I think that's a bad plan, but people are going to do it. So Uncivil, you and we got to talk about that. I think that'd be a good show. So we'll figure that out. Why not both? And aren't you Polish? I am, but I don't know anything about the Polish legal system, and I don't speak Polska or whatever. So that would be a mess. A crafty Huragok says, strong men make good time make weak men make bad times make strong men, rinse and repeat. I think that is true. I think that's a true thing. Okay. But anyway, we're going to get through these chats, and then I will go to the bathroom, and that'll be great. Crusader Saracen says, Merry Christmas to both of ye merry gentlemen, and may God bless ye. Ty, you'd be proud to know that right now I'm smoking a brisket Texas style for tomorrow's Christmas dinner. Man, I'm jealous of that already. Yum. He also says, by the way, Ty, what do you think about the Marine Corps phasing out their heavy armored capabilities but not replacing them? How will this fare in a war against China, especially a Pacific Island hopping campaign? Well, unfortunately, we no longer have Ty here to answer that question. Sorry. Taybebe, my response is it'll be fine. Everything's great. Would it be considered insider trading to sell your stock, file a lawsuit, then buy stock back when it hits the low? I don't know. I don't think so. Lawsuits are public. Although, I guess it depends on when you sold your stock versus when you filed the lawsuit. It could be. I don't know. I'd have to look into that one. That's a tough question. Taybebe26, it certainly seems like it would be immoral. Taybebe26 says, Merry Christmas, Nick and Ty. God bless you both and your families. I wish you both good cheer and a happy new year. Hey, thanks, Taybebe. New York Gamers Federation says, hashtag racket stacks. Took a trip to Vegas to see my family. Was sitting here wondering why you were broadcasting at 9 p.m. when you mentioned Christmas is in 30 minutes. Then I remembered I'm now 3 hours behind. Merry Christmas to you, sir. Hope to see you again soon. Hey, you too, buddy. Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy your family. Enjoy Las Vegas. GE says, hello, Nick and Ty. Just wanted to wish you both, you and your families, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hey, back at you, GE. Back at you. Cerno Trollopoulos says, Sizia is so broad, it may mean that hentai sites with no real-life porn may be held to regulations that do not make sense for sites that host purely fictional content. Even if it does not pass now, I am more afraid of them turning it into a budget rider. I don't know what Sizia is, but I'll have to look into it. Siren Jack says, Nick, I found another list of Christmas movies at a source that shall remain nameless. Pick a favorite. I Saw Mama Eating Santa Claus, How the Grinch Gaped Christmas, Frosty the Snow Hoe, or Merry Christmas from the Family. Hint, not number 4. I think it'd be How the Grinch Gaped Christmas. That sounds wholesome right there. Mario Carter 13 says, Ty thought he had a plumbing problem. Turns out he just needed a bucket and a mop to clean up after that WAP. Disgusting. Disgusting. TV Goes Live says, last Christmas, I gave Xi Jinping my heart. The very next day, he sold it for $14 million. I thought we had something special. Pooh Bear. Jeff the Gamer says, Merry Christmas to you both and your families. Question for both you and Ty. Are you aware of the supposed area in the Yellowstone National Park where murder is essentially legal? And if so, how true is it? No and no. It's not. It's not legal. I don't even care if it is. It's not. So, there you go. Silky Johnson says, Merry Christmas, Nick and Ty. I love this part of the year, even though there's a bit of sadness as both my grandparents are no longer here. A lot of great memories at Grandma and Grandpa's house. Ty, you remind me of Grandpa a bit. Thank you for the stream, gents. I'm glad to know that Ty reminds you of a grandpa. That'll probably make him feel young. Kermit the Frog says, hold on. Rudolph Fens, are you talking about this show? Right now, this live show that we're talking that we're doing? I stream every weeknight at 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Central Time. So it's always on. You know, outside of rare occasions where I get sick or something happens and I can't do the show. That's the schedule, if you're talking about this. Okay. Kermit the Frog says, he knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're on the can. He'll hunt you down and blast your ass from here to Pakistan. Oh, you better not breathe. You better not move. You're better off dead. I'm telling you, dude. Santa Claus is gunning you down. Very festive Christmas chat from Kermit. That was weird. Knight of Hopex says, we're mad because we wanted Wade to get fisted in the ass like the ass puppet he is, made an example of. It was never about the money. We can make our own money. What we need is people who do what Wade did to be afraid to try it again. We never get an eye for an eye. I think they are afraid to try it again. So I think you actually got that. I think you actually got that. Some asshole says, chat PSA, if you hate Disney Star Wars but got Disney Plus to watch The Mandalorian, you're a simp. Them's the breaks. Let that shitty series die off. Damn. Rudolph, awesome. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Jared Frost says, Merry Christmas, Nick. Please let chat know about a GoFundMe for my brother-in-law named Family Relief for Troy Turnage. He has a neurological condition called CID, and it's painful and keeping him from his son over the holidays. Prayers and donations needed. All right, guys, there you go. Family Relief for Troy Turnage. You can go check out that GoFundMe if you want, and if you feel compelled to give, go ahead and look into that. That is on you guys. I don't know anything about it, but that would help out Jared Frost. Cerno Trollopoulos says, honestly, budget writers in general need to be stopped. They always seem to be bad laws that are either highly authoritarian or serve a special interest. Budget writers are how bad laws get passed that would not have survived if not tacked onto a budget. Right, but also they love them. Congress loves them because it's an excuse for them to do the thing. And they're like, well, I didn't want to vote for lots of power for me, but what? I got to pass this budget. So, yeah. Yeah. Andrew War Snowboard says, one of my relatives got swatted recently, but because the dad answered the door and not the son, no one got hurt. Jeez. Why? Arctic Pride says Nick may be late and gay, but his nose got here 15 minutes ago and is waiting for him. Oh, I'll let you guys know why I was late today. I normally email Ty the links. But my email is down. So I had to get him the links in a different way. It's still down, I think. I'm trying now. Nope, it's up now. Good job. Thank you. Thank you for that email. Good work. You're very helpful. Stupid. So I apologize. Eugene Ford says, hi, Nick. Today is my birthmas. I was born on this night on a Friday in 87. Keep up the good work. Merry Christmas, Nick and Ty. Hey, Merry Christmas and Merry birthday to you, Eugene Ford. Glad to have you here. Reek says, Merry Nurglemas. Yes, you too, Reek. It was good to see you in Tampa. And Merry Christmas to you, sir. Patrick Augustus Caesar. Merry Christmas. Ty, what is your opinion on the Soviet T-34? His opinion is so low that he left the show before answering, which is rude. Gelth Walker says, Nick, check your Discord for what happened to me. Yay, paying for emergency plumbers on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to all in the chat. May your Christmas be better. Stacey Dealman, welcome to lawyer status. Thank you for joining the channel. Wilhelm Goldbert says, 1 year ago, I sent a super chat on this day of my grandfather's death. I'm here to say thanks for that and your content. Here's to another year, Nick. Well, Wilhelm Goldbert, here's to you. And on the anniversary of your grandfather's passing, I raise a glass. Peace and comfort to you on this day, and remember the good times with him. Andrew War Snowboard says, could Uncle Johnny Rico throw a football over a mountain? No, he would shoot the mountain with the nuke gun and get it out of the way. Dr. Teeth says, Ty, I tried to read Dune, but didn't get far. Me too, man. Herbert is far too in love with his own characters. He needs to stop simping for Paul and tell me a freaking story. I had trouble getting into the language of it. That was my problem. It's probably because I'm so engrossed in the language of Warhammer and Ender's Game, that sort of those two series, is that when I started to read Dune, my brain was just like muddling out all these words, and it was like, don't learn a new language of sci-fi. Alman John 1 says, Ty, you see that sexy new 6-foot Twitch thought in red shorts, Sailor Moon shirt, hairy legs, and Pokemon plush dolls? I know where my stimulus check is going. Well, that's only because you're so stimulated. Malachi Gaming and Talk says, I just had the best Christmas present ever. She said yes. Cheers. Hey, Malachi Gaming and Talk, Merry Christmas to you. Congratulations. Ash Ukihime. Merry Christmas, Nick and Ty. I still watch your videos. It's just been pretty busy with work. I work remotely at home as a TA for a school and helping mom. Well, thank you for watching, Ash Ukihime. Merry Christmas to you. I hope you get some peace. I know working in the, working for a school can be really tumultuous right now, so I hope everything's going well. Robert Hubert says, Nick, you got the Xbox Series X. Are you considering getting the KF console, or will you hold out for the Taco Bell console? I don't want either of them. Amateur Anth says, I love contractors because they make you blood-sucking lawyers feel the pain of average people you are supposed to represent, but don't, even with money. Yes. Karn says, Yogi's first Christmas is the true embodiment of the holiday spirit. Also, that female bear was extremely thirsty for Yogi. Merry Christmas, y'all. Hey, boo-boo. I don't know if that's a good Yogi, but I tried. You didn't ask for it, but I tried anyway. Master Blaster says, Merry Christmas, guys. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Red Mage 13 says, some of Bernie Sanders. And then we're going to redistribute the wealth. If I had actually heard Yogi Bear's voice in the past, month, I could probably do it better. I used to do a pretty good Boo Boo impression, but not today. Red Mage 13 says, some of law Twitter includes, unfortunately, law students who are trying to flex. Lots of them. What's one of the dumbest takes you've seen on Twitter recently? Would bet money it's a law student trying to act smart. Just everything Beddick Martin says is a premium one. But the best one was Alan Rawls, a law student, trying to act smart, who could not fucking figure out my grandfather's will, which he decided it would be somehow good to post my grandfather's will on Twitter, like that would be something that was even reasonable to do in any sort of way. But he did it and then completely failed to read it because he's fucking retarded. There's no nice way to say it. That was his issue. And the best part about that was when the Florida estate attorney tried to correct them from getting it wrong. They just ignored him and turned on him, even though he's a guy who doesn't like me either. So that was good. Good job, you idiots. Bad Vibe says, if lawyers were single men, they would Polish all day long. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. The best one was, it was just the other day, recently. Here's the recent one. It was some guy posted that he had seen or heard through the grapevine that the request to dismiss Vic's appeal was denied. And he's like, that's some good news. Which happened, but it was like a year ago that it happened. It was a long time ago. But it did happen. And then Catherine Tucson, who's fat, just, for the record, we have to make sure and let people know that. She came on and a bunch of people dogpiled on this guy and was like, that didn't happen, blah, 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 blah. And I pointed out, but it did happen. Like that, it just happened a long time ago. And they're like, you mean like a year ago? Yes, but it did happen. And the funniest part of that is they don't remember this. But all of them said that Ty filed too early and it would definitely be dismissed by the court. Even though there was a rule saying that if you file quote unquote too early, it just perfects when it would normally perfect and it's fine. They all swore that it would be dismissed. Like, oh, that's definitely going to be dismissed. And then, of course, it wasn't. And then they all pretended like, oh, no, we knew it wouldn't get dismissed. I mean, you guys spent like 2 weeks saying it would be dismissed, and then it wasn't dismissed. But anyway, they like to forget that event happened. Amateur Ant says, who gives an F about the law when no one follows the law? We see this with Antifa and cities now. States and federal government laws don't mean shit anymore. Well, they do for you, though. They do for you. Chuldo says, Merry Christmas, Nick and Mr. Beard. Amateur Anth again says, lawyers are not the people we need running this country. Oh, I agree. Lawyers need to be running themselves into a grave. That's it. Guess who runs our country? About 90% lawyers, and it's a disgusting habit that needs to stop. Yeah, you won't catch me disagreeing. Pokemon's Master says, got my Pennsylvania Dutch eggnog to drink. Merry Chrysler, boomers at law. You too, Pokemons. Corey Goodman says, thanks for giving me/us something to look forward to on most nights throughout this year. Merry Christmas. Keep grifting hard, Law Daddy. Oh, the grift is just beginning. Just beginning. Amateur Ant says, 2021, we will be fighting for our rights to live with Biden because they already sent a fake JOU money to the fake JOU money to China. The U.S. is gone now. Biden the Cold One says, hey, Ty, loved your Call of Cthulhu stream. You did a great job. Also love all your daughter does on Twitch. I always have lots of fun. Awesome. Glad that you are watching her, Biden. Awesome. Eugene Ford says, Ty and Nick, if it came down to it, would y'all go off grid? I don't want to do that. I want life to be comfortable. I really don't want discomfort and frustration and annoyance. I mean, if I had to go off grid to protect my family, yeah, of course I would. But it'd have to be a real extreme circumstance. The Physicality channel says Atari 65XE was the same as the 800XL, much more powerful than ZX Spectrum. Cool. For me, it was just the thing that I had. Superstitious Oblivious B says, hey, Nick, could you please tell Ty that I think he must have been a great dad given how cool his kids are, and Merry Christmas, Papa Beard. I will tell him that, Superstitious. He left before, but I will tell him that. Rekka Wronghouse says, hi, Nick. Got any advice / vid recommendations on copyright for a newbie story writer making their first story / webcomic? Have a very Merry Weeb Christmas. No, I don't. I don't have any recommendations on that. I apologize. I don't know what to tell you. If you have some questions about it, you can certainly message me and I can try and help you navigate it. But other than that, I don't know. Amateur Anthigan says, I've had a warrant for 5 or 6 years. They're waiting for me, but I don't give an F because the government is garbage. And why would I turn myself in when the law doesn't mean the law anymore? Look, I'm ethically obligated to say you should always abide by any warrants out for you. But hashtag resist, brother. Timothy Reaper says, I would like to wish you and Ty a somber and erotic feast of Maximus occupancy. Yes. Maximum occupancy. We need it. Almond John 1 says, Antifa protesters probably started the turkey fire. Almond John 1 says, not trying to bring any negative energy towards you, but don't you and other YouTubers worry that eating food sent by fans might be poisoned? Yes. In case of the Vegemite, though, it's in a sealed thing. It was from a company. It's not like I got it in like a greasy envelope or something. It came from a company. But it is a concern. I mean, you never know what someone might do. I try not to have bad faith in people, and I try to trust in some divine providence to get me through. So hopefully that'll never happen. Eclipse Warlord says, Merry Christmas. Hey, you too, Eclipse. Merry Christmas. It's a West Coast. Merry Christmas, Pacific time. Cheers to you. Merry Christmas. Love you all. The one day I don't want you to slide into the ocean. Merry Christmas. Ascot Man says, hey, Nick, first time super chat. Hey, welcome to being grifted. Bought myself a Jefferson's Ocean whiskey today per your suggestion. Great stuff. You got to thank Dan Fraga. Dan Fraga is the guy who recommended it to me. And I'm going to have Dan on the show as soon as possible, as soon as we can work it out. Anyway, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and your family. Cheers, mate. Hey, cheers back to you, Ascot Man. Superstitious Oblivious B says, could you please say the following in Alex Jones's voice? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women. Yeah. There you go. That's the Alex Jones voice for you. Vast Game Master says, did you hear what happened to Pornhub? They got accused of showing revenge and child porn, so they chopped off their arm. Will you look into it? I talked about it. I did talk about it. It might be a bigger topic to talk about, or maybe a short video topic to talk about, but I talked about it on a live stream a little bit back. It's interesting. I saw a thing where someone had taken like the before and after, like on how many videos. It went from like 13 million videos to 2 million videos. And they still got completely defunded. It's a mess. All right, we've got last one. No, that I'd already read that one. Perfect. All right, guys. We're just after 2 a.m. Central Time on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas. There may be a stream Christmas night. I don't know. I'm going to try and pull off something ridiculous. I don't know if it's going to happen. But there may be a stream on Christmas. If I have one, I'll announce it. All right? If I don't have one and if I don't see you, Merry Christmas. Call a family member. They need it. FaceTime them. They need it. Do something. People need to see each other. We can't do it this year in the same way. Like if you're seeing family, great. I commend you. If you're not physically present, be virtually present. Find a way. Find a way. Especially with your elderly. If you've got kids, connect them with their grandparents, please. Please do it. They need it. All right? And more important than that, more important than anything else, let go of everything nasty in the world for one day. For one day, let go of all of the negativity, let go of all the nastiness, and be at peace. Because God came down as man today. Not really. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson, I get it. Not really today. Today's the day we remember that God came down as man. Just for us. For no reason that makes any sense. Like try and find some sense in the Bible. Doesn't make sense. And if you don't believe in the Bible, that's fine. That's fine. Know that because a bunch of people believe that God came down as man, you get a day to sit back and go like this. I don't believe any of this nonsense, but it doesn't matter. I can sit back and I can enjoy family, my friends, my safety, my health, my life, whatever you have. Whatever you have, you can sit back for one day and enjoy it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. You earned it. You deserved it. You went through a year of shit. Sit back for a day and relax in it. Just for you. And from my family to yours, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a great night. I may see you tomorrow. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes madder, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lafroig. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Dundee to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet. There's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law